too later.
We are live, so don't... Hey, okay, we did it. We didn't say anything absurdly vulgar while going live. You know what? We'll take it. I'm honestly astonished Roller Rival kids can be something else. But they're fun, so you know what? It's worth something. I'll put in my 2 cents. So you know what? We'll take it. Shit, wrong Layla. All right, there we go. Hopefully the stream is up, bans should be ready, and we'll have ourselves a game on Bank. You know what you're expecting. Also, apparently Ace and Mira. I suppose you can't go without your Bank default bans. Ace, probably one of the most common banned ops we've ever seen as a peak, and Mira, who is definitely sitting up there as one of the more banned ops. I think this sort of 3-ban system has centralized a handful of operators to become significantly more banned, and it does lead to a very, very strong banning rate for a handful of people. Very unlucky people, I'll admit, but you know, if you... Okay. I don't hate the knock ban, Nook, however you prefer to say it. I do think it is a little bit odd, I'll give you that. You know, there's always an option for a ban of something like that, you know, where it's more of a just safe, you play it because, you know, it can be strong, but it also feels like you're reaching a large amount. So... you know, it could be a viable ban, but I do at least say it's something to worry about. Just a little. Overall, let's see what we have ourselves in what should be a banger of a game between Staydown and Glybo and what feels like everybody. And Raid, excuse me, I forgot he joined just last second, as I knew he was having a handful of issues, if I'm not mistaken, but he seems to be back in force now, so... we'll be glad to see what comes out of that. Now to start off, the op picks are pretty bland and basic. Nothing wrong with that, obviously, but at the end of the day, it is Roller Rivals that, you know, real skill is going to be found in the gun skill. Not really the most strategic sort of games, but we're certainly going to find some crazy fights in here. And as always, something to look forward to. We are going to see the Grim, which has become one of the more popular ops, I think, and a bit of an underrated op at that. You love her, she can cut off, or he can cut off a lot of sight in such a very easy fashion. It makes him significantly more liked among the competitive community, and it's starting to frequent its way into these Roller Rival tournaments more often than you'd think, even hit the bans occasionally. I will say we do also have ourselves a very, very nice op in the form of what I prefer, but most would not. I love myself a little bit of Goyo here and there, but ever since that ACOG loss, it has certainly hurt it quite a bit. I think that is anything but the most basic you could know. No one's playing Goyo like he used to be, but yeah, I think he still has all that value. A really, really good gun on the hands, and I think Glybo is going to work just fine even without the magnification. Along with a Twitch drone spot. Question is, are you going to find him? Maybe not. We'll say he's running what feels like maybe a little bit of a slower sense. Maybe it's more controlled. We see the first walkdowns here from Raid and Kazu. Raid's going to find the first on the Salsa. I'm going off of names in here. I'm not going off of any other names, so... go off of that. Stay up. Stay down, excuse me. Finds himself into Glybo. Getting rid of what is probably going to be considered the most likely MVP of this match, but so far it has been relatively dominant in the side of Raid's team. They have, I think, a really good 1-2 there of Staydown, of Raid. A very consistent 1-2, I think, at times. I think the fact they're both there raises the floor immediately. But I think that Raid's upside can feel so strong at times. That might be where this team succeeds. But Mad's going to find a pick on a Ghost. Just make that advantage a little larger and make this a much harder round to come back from. But a swing could do it. But instead, the whiff from Jeff. Demon's just going to pick it up, leaving Prequel in a 1v5 situation. no chance of winning this in my opinion, but you could always see miracles. He at least finds one, but you're going to need a hell of a lot more to win this. Pray, look, and find, but Raid's going to finish. Round 1 goes the way of redemption, if I'm not mistaken. Be a good question. Where are these kids? Why are they not? Hold up, we're gonna mute on this game real quick. Not the game. You're gonna hear me muted for just a second while I get something figured out, because issues. And we're just back in time for the actual round. Didn't want to miss too much here. And I will say we will have a new overlay probably sometime soon. We'll see how it looks and how it functions, but it should be a little bit higher quality overall in terms of actual casting. So if you are here for the production value, which I maybe doubt, but if you do enjoy it yourself, hopefully some better improvements coming soon. Actually, it'll be a very big, large improvement over what should be the entirety of, I think, the sort of Siege casting sphere. As I'm working with one very, very nice coder man, and, you know, we're trying to see if we can get something done for a Roller Rivals, or more accurately, Rainbow Six Siege overlay. It's a very easy configuration, auto scorekeeping, all of the easy stuff, rosters, it makes it easy on your end. I think it'll be a very, very big step up.
5 seconds left.
Always something to look forward to. In Roller Rivals, you always are going to look forward to that next day. Fridays are always amazing. You'll still see Glybo, you still see Raid, but you know exactly what your best day is. You know exactly what your favorites are. Saturday and Sunday, the 2-day headers, and it does range, I think, week to week. Generally, you will see Saturday be the largest, but at least as of recent, we have seen sometimes a stronger Saturday in terms of pure starting lineups, and that is always something to look out for in terms of how it's going to flow. So far, we don't have a really large amount of, I think, hyped teams signing up. That is interesting to see long-term how it plays out. But always fun to watch. Always fun to look. I think that'll always be the best thing to look for is what's coming next. Now, sir, you're going to see Mason really quickly find himself another pick as what is, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the Mason I'm thinking of, a very, very good player. Generally more on the support, but that doesn't matter to him. I think he's always been relatively consistent at level. So good for him, and you're also going to find Glybo here as Staydown finds it relatively easily, getting themselves a very large 2-player advantage once again. Brought a little bit down by Jeff here, but I think the issue is always going to be how long can you hold out. The Blackbeard's going to make a move, getting rid of Ghost. Now it's a 2v4. Your options thinning and thinner. This map is map 1. I don't have a bracket set up yet, and I also don't know how to do a fancy bot, so if one of y'all want to help me with that, feel free to. But I do not have a great one to give you. Jeffrey's pencil is at least going to go a little bit more. Jeff finding himself the triple. Brings it back to a more winnable round here, but you're still going to have to get rid of Kasu. Demon, as I'm going to refer to him for most of this. And don't get rid of... don't put down Staydown here, but Prequel is going to find him, making this a much harder fight to win, as now they can close in on you. They can hold these longer trades, these longer angles on you. But you got to play perfect. Instead, Jeff finds a quad on the round. Finishes off Demon and gets himself a very, very nice comeback round. I gotta make sure it's the right Mason because there's like 12 different Masons. So if this is the right one, I can't speak. If this is the right one, and it's the Mason I'm thinking of, he is very good at what he does. I also don't know what he's called, so this is a little unhelpful. I know he goes by like Mason, but it's like with a 9 somewhere. Yeah, I don't remember what he's called, so if y'all know the Mason guy, please do tell him. Hey, Cloudy, I do see you in there. Among a relatively large delay tonight, so forgive any sort of, you know, annoying things here on my end.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I will say I think that team overall is very, very strong. Staydown, Raid, Dawn, Jersey, is a very, very good group of 4 to have, and then at least some good things surrounding. I will say the other side house does something. Matsumitsu, Jugo, Grandpa can still be their thing. I don't know where that team is right now, so do not quote me on that. I would have to check bracket real quick. And Aiden, apparently. Wow. Wow, Gray, Cam, Creeps, Astar. I said that wrong. Aiden Parla on subs. That is a great thing. Nightbot. I have heard of it, but I don't know how to set it up. I might even have it set up right now. I don't know. Stream elements. I feel like I might have a Nightbot. I just don't know what the hell, how you do the map thing, because, like, I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those things I might have to get to. If I have the time, I'll certainly try to set it up for finals. Now, in terms of brackets, it does feel a little bit all over the place, as some maps are going a little bit farther, faster and farther than others. But right now, you do have yourself with his teams. Gray lost early on. Excuse me. I'm a little bit surprised by that. You have Raid and then Zizzer in this one. And then on the other side of the map, you have Charges and Zodish. Forgive the crappy way of pronouncing. That's the Jugo Matsumitsu team. And then Nephew, Slam, and Raquan, Express. I do have it going the way of whatchamacallit, Matrix over PC. I think that team just has a lot more weight to them in terms of actual star power and just consistency. I'm gladly willing to take an upset. The image is going to be found in the mad, but it won't be that beautiful thing you're looking for. That kill. That is certainly going to hurt long term. Also, that probably isn't the right link. It might be, it might not be. But Glybo does finally find his first year. It was a little bit of a slower start, but getting rid of the Blackbeard is certainly going to make up for that, at least in this round. This is sort of where I think he can exceed and thrive here, is in this situation where he has the flexibility to do what he wants. He opts to fall down just for safety's sake, but I think letting him go crazy sometimes, letting him run out and just do what he does best, which is adapt. He's great at playing those split-second instinct-level decisions where it's not a lot of thinking, it's just true split-second. You know, you're just making that choice. He's one of the best at it, in my opinion, and that is what kind of separates him generally. Constantly change. I mean, I could. I also might low-key, I don't know, we'll see. I'll have to get to it. Ghost does at least find one on the stay down. Gonna give you a much bigger lead, and then it gets even larger as you get rid of raid bullies. Alright, I'll look into it. In between map 1 and map 2 here, if I have time. Mason does at least get himself a little bit larger of a lead, getting rid of Glybo. Or try to close it down more accurately, excuse me. Problem with the thing, any type of lead like this is it's so large and it's so hard to come back from this simply because it's really, really big. A 4v2 is winnable for any real team, but it's so hard to really try to find a way against Prequel, against Jeff, against all of these players that are at minimum high level. Mason's at least going to find one, but I think time is going to be the issue, as Salsa's going to find at least 2 here. Beautiful couple shots, gets him the triple on the round, and a pretty great start. After a bit of a slow start, Glybo's team seems to be hitting him just fine. Low-key, hold up. Nightbot, you said it was called? I might have Nightbot, actually. Can I just add a dude to do this? Dashboard. Blah, 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 blah. Manager. Cloudy, hold on. Make a user and Loki just tell me it. You know what? Because, like... Yeah, just make a user a Nightbot and then tell me. I will low-key just give you manager commands so you can just, like, show me how, at least for this first map here. If so, my thanks would be there. If not, oh well. I will live. I will say, though, that this at least should be a very consistent banger, I think, all the way through. I think Raid and Staydown alone can raise this team's floor so much that it's going to be kind of hard to even have a bad game, I think. Could it go a little bit lopsided maybe at the very end? Yes, I think that is something with any team here, really, in Roller Rivals, is sometimes that mental can be a little bit too hard of a strain, and you will see some teams crumble. That's just how it is sometimes to some of these teams that don't have the most time together. But I think a contrary to that is that if you really do get that big gap, if you do get those big plays, you know what? I think they can really have a chance. I think that's what this game relies on, is you have to see those big, explosive plays from the side of Raid's team. They have to be consistently going crazy, doing these weird strategies, taking these hard 1v1s and just winning consistently. Because they are going to win off of aiming. There is no strategy that they're going to outbeat on. Glybo is a better strategist. This team has that better strategy. But if you can truly just out-aim the suckers, that could very well get you a win here, and a pretty dominant one if you can pull it together. But that also means we're going to have to see very, very good performance, I think, from Staydown or Raid in terms of entries. Once you find that first pick, it feels so much easier to do something. So if you have the superstars really do that a lot of value and find themselves those picks, it could help. All in due time, of course, as we have ourselves 3 full maps. Hopefully we get to see all 3, but it should be a nice little run either way. I'm personally a fan of Clubhouse as a map too. It's basic, you love it though. I think that's what it's known for. I will say, one of the very few things I do really, truly think that I love about Roller Rivals as like a guarantee is no one else is Oregon. I love Oregon. I know it's out in the Pro League map pool. I cast Pro League, so I never see it, but this is one of the very few places you can see it, and that is worth something to me. I will say, however, we will see about the long-term casting of me on Fridays and Saturdays. Not because I don't love this guy, love the team here, love Part, Layla, all these people that really helped do it, you know, Bogo, all these people that helped make it happen, but I'm getting busy, man. I think I'm booked out for the next week and a half, just in straight nights. Now I'm trying to work in Overwatch production. Like, I am genuinely never having free time. My nights are filled. My days are more filled because APs and high school are not easy. Only taking a handful, it isn't easy. Hey, Matt at least finds himself one more pick here. Finishes with Glybo hitting a beautiful C4 there on a Mason. And to give you just that one more advantage, or evening out, if you will. That should give you just that bigger chance. And Glybo is going to have to go very aggressive here. Going to try to fight these stairs and put himself in a situation where it's a high risk, high reward to, you know, anything. He could find so much here, but Salsa is going to find it first. I think the issue is both of these players, Salsa and Glybo, I think are very willing to throw themselves at a fight if they trust it. But I think that can also be the weakness at times where it might be a little bit too much trust, but the shots come in. It's a whiff, though. Salsa taken down as Staydown and does find it eventually. Maybe just tell me your Nightbot user. I think I should tell you, and I can just add you. Or your ID. Just DM me it, and I'll look at it. Glybo, though, on the other side, does find himself one more kill for the round, bringing him back to even. That SMG-12 proves to be a pretty useful force. I'll have to figure that out then, because I don't really know. And a raid little issue. So this might be a very, very just time here to fix it, but Staydown's at least going to find one. Trays out, doesn't matter, as Jeff Ghost have this lock. They know that they got this round, and that'll be one more for the side of Glybo. Okay. Speed run, how fast can we get this thing working? How fast can I get Nightbot up and running? Go, go, go. Commands. What is this? I'm doing this as fast as I can here so we can get this command up. Come on, let's see if we can get it going. Also, low-key, this is your recommendation of the day. Listen, if you're ever in like a, not high tense, but like you're doing your thing. Why are we starting? Raid isn't here. What are we starting for? I'm not even ready. What's the, God, kids. Not clubhouse. Map 3 is cafe.
Bombs from being defused by attackers.
Okay, I created it. Hold up. Any of you now. This is your new challenge. One of you, throw the map command up. Tell me how it works. If it does work, even. It might work. I think it will work. It should. I don't know. We'll see. Sadly, my chat, like little doc thing, does not allow me to type. It's weird. I know, but something to work with. I will say I don't know why raid is gone, so I would at least maybe figure out what's going on, because I may not be glazing the dude for once, but I really do enjoy his gameplay style. So why? Did I miss something? Why are we starting without raid? Did I like miss something big in the plot? I don't know. It'll be a figure it out and, you know, wait and see sort of thing. But Glybo should always provide some value here. The shots are going to come in. Mad's at least going to be low. Maybe a little bit too aggressive on the window for the already disadvantageous situation they're being caught in. All can be made up in due time, of course, but... Why do I have 25 viewers? Huh? I just realized that. I thought I had like 4. I missed a big plot in between, I guess. Shit, my bad. Jeff, Mason all find themselves a little bit more to squeeze in, but the issue is always going to be that one player disadvantage you're left with. His raid's going to be gone. Your options are even more limited, and you're going to be left in a very, I think, disadvantageous situation, no matter how you put it. You have to find a pick. You're going to have to find value where it's not being given to you anymore. This is a true disadvantage that is hard to make up. Neither of these teams are going to give a pick easy. You're not going to see Glybo's team give up that pick when they know they have the advantage already. It is going to be so hard to bring that back. But maybe a little bit of crazy plays from Staydown on the window could do it. You're also going to see actually everyone on upstairs here. Apparently nobody wants to go below an option. That's at least odd. I'll give him that. But Jeff is going to go down. That's at least a huge pick there to try to bring it back to even. I think it's much more important than anything else they could have done here. Yes, the time is going to be an issue, but finding that pick, finding that equalizer is going to be more important. And I think you can see it's going to be a really big shot to have. Now here you're going to have Mason, Staydown, and Demon all left in a situation that's winnable, but Glybo, this SMB-12, cannot seem to be stopped as the second you gave it to him, he's been running it. Another player leaves, Staydown as well. This is where I start to have some maybe issues with the round, but Swinger might come out here on the rappel. He gets it. Glybo with 2 now on the round. It seems to be dominant as ever, leaving just Mason. Finish off by Prequel. Whatever you prefer to say. And I'm assuming we're going to rehost, but I also don't really know, so I'm going to just say wait it out. What? Am I seeing this right? So Rage just forfeited. Allegedly, that's what Zizzer said. So I will not put anything in anyone's words, but really? Seriously? Okay. I guess Staydown has officially confirmed they are forfeiting the entire series. For the 40-man and Speedy, from what I'm hearing. Maybe. Not putting anything on it. I might be hearing this wrong, so don't take this as verbatim, but...
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Jesus. Well, I got good viewership, and then you guys are going to be a little bit let down. So... struggling to see what to do here. I mean... I guess? Yeah, I don't even, like... What? What? Why are we We're forfeiting the entire series? Seriously? Like, I get it, but like, really? So, I guess. Okay, now I gotta go talk to one of these guys to please give me their POV. Who is left? Redemption just forfeited, so... Yikes. Well, now in a 1v5. I'm not gonna say it's over, but it's over. Let's be honest. Yeah, I don't even like... What do I do here? I'm trying to figure out what to cast, but it's a 1v5 here. Eventually finished off, but... this has been over from the start. I'm sorry for the last man here in Demon, but like, what do we even do? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Like... Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do here. I don't have a great answer. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect this one. I mean... Yeah, so, I mean, if you had hopes, I'm sorry to have you have them all let down. You know, for obvious reasons, I think we all had some hopes for this game. You know, maybe there could be a cool play. It at least had, you know, some real value there, but instead, they're all gone. And I don't really have a game to cast, so... Like, I'm trying to, like, figure out what to cast, because I don't really have a game to cast in terms of logistics, because, you know, everyone left. I mean, a 3v1 is a 3v1. I'm pretty sure this dude just turned his... Oh, well, never mind. I was going to say he turned his console off, but... You know, maybe I talked to... I don't know who?
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Hey, knife fight. Hold up. Knife fight. Knife fight. Knife fight. This is important stuff here, folks. This is the new cast. We're not playing Siege no more. We're playing knife fight. Come on. Let me see it. See them fisticuffs, baby. If we can't have a game, we will damn sure have an something entertaining. And knife. And it ended in the first round. Swing and a kind of large miss, let's be honest. My hopes were high, and then they got brought down to all hell. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. So y'all hold real quick. Let me figure out what I can do.
attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I don't really know what to do. Hold up, we're trying to figure out what to cast next. Okay, they're gonna do their knife fight. I will cast that, but we gotta play who to go to. Well, we don't have a game now. So if you wanted a game, I'm severely sorry for letting you down on that factor. I'd love to say I have a solution. I kind of don't, I'm gonna be honest. So... let's see, let's at least see what I can do on the short term real quick to give y'all some little bit of something to watch. Just something to scribe along with. So it's not super duper boring, it's just instead marginally. Son of a bitch. I don't really have a plan on how you fix an issue of the game ended because everyone forfeited. Someone please save me. My knight in shining armor. You gotta exist somewhere. Hold up. We're gonna do something until then. Give me a second. And we're back. We do have ourselves a very, very different game, but still the same map, so I guess you're not missing too much overall. Overall, I mean, you can't complain with what you have. Is it the exact same group of people? Absolutely not. I'm not going to pretend it is, but it is still, I think, a group of people worth mentioning, and that is, I think, the biggest change. You know, it's still got that level. It is a very, very stacked team, I think. Matsumitsu, Jugo, Grandpa. I think there's a lot of value there. See, I'm probably going to catch slack because I'm pretty sure I spelled Matsumitsu's name wrong, but oh well, is what I'll say. To any of you that are tuning in off the announcement, welcome, and let's see if we can have ourselves one very, very good game here. Preferably better than the forfeit fest that was our last map. I think certainly anyone would love themselves one better map. Also, I'm pretty sure you can go on to, I don't know if you can do it here. Here might work, but you might be able to just do it, Cloudy, straight on the, not other factor, other game. Or not other game, Nightbot's, like, website. I don't know how it works, but you might be added to it. Just, like, straight up be able to do it on that end. So I will point out, this is certainly rare. And this is a very niche thing. There is no top to this. Like, spectators don't have this. There's just a... I don't know what. This would also mean it's not really a space, so technically if you could jump, you would just float for a little bit. Why? I don't know, because there shouldn't be here. But it is, which is weird, right? It's not glitched on that end, because I see their POV, which is that this is real. But we only see solid objects. This isn't solid. Very fun fact, as we do see a very pretty basic setup overall. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, at least not internally. I think by default, a lot of these setups can be basic, but there's still value to be found in those. The value is going to be found, at least in the fun parts, which is these later parts. Come on, let's get excited for what should be a very, very fun map and a very, very fun game. Matsumitsu, probably one of the best known players, whether you like him or not, for what he's known for boosting. That's another question. But he is, in fact, very, very good at that. He's probably the most well-known booster by a very, very large margin. Jugo, Grandpa are both still amazing players in their own right. Jugo does find the first time this slams out. A little bit more of a memorable name if you know ball, but there's a deep list of players, and he is pretty far down on them list, to be fair. But we are going to see Jugo at the first pick. A Boss Gene hand taken out by Draft. Okay, Draft Terrorist, I guess. Remember, any names here are not my fault. That is simply the naming convention of other players. Raquan is still going to find something on the Zoe. Gladly take himself. A little bit more of an advantage here, and I think they'll gladly take that, especially when Grandpa and Matsumitsu are still left. I think this Clash Shield should be relatively powerful. Still on the back and still in hands doesn't mean you can be a bit of a slowdown. Instead, Grandpa's going to find that pick to even it back out, but he's the one that's going aggressive. Still upstairs and still providing all of that value that you would hope to have from Jugo, replaced with a little bit different. That should have all the same efficacy long term. And we're going to see, we're just going to call him WAF, because that's the most correct name from my NPOV. If he wants something else, he can very gladly tell me. But that's what we're going to go off of, is WAF is going to find one, but make that two. Apparently he's beautiful on that absolutely amazing shot. Now with Matsumitsu, one last man standing. No matter what you think of Raquan, it should be very, very slammed. One is Grandpa finishes. It was actually a very, very good shot. Forgive me, as I did not know you were like that. No pings, no nothing, just true, straight game sense and aim. Boo. Damn. I guess I'm cooked. That one boo is that's gonna hurt me for the rest of my, next 35 years. I might go crying in a corner now. That might hurt, actually. Forgive me, I might have to go cry in a corner. I will admit, let's be honest, I think to all degrees, this is sort of what feels like the prelude to what should be probably one of the better games we've had in a Friday for a very long time. Matsumitsu, Jugo. That alone would be enough, but you still have one more man. Grandpa should add to the value of that. You have Glybo. You have probably one of the better players in the entirety of console right now. All in one grand finals for a Friday night, not even Saturday or Sunday. You got yourselves a banger of a finals. And we haven't even hit the best day of the week for this. That is what you want to see. You want to see the fact that you still have one more game, no matter what. We're certainly probably going to have, hopefully, a full 3 maps, but I wouldn't be surprised if we can see Matsumitsu's team maybe take it in 2. But the more important thing to look at, I think, is afar. What are we going to see next, which should be the most banger of them all? And also, hopefully, I will have a new overlay that can show brackets, caster screen. So if I ever do a duo cast or a single cast, I can actually have a screen for my casting. It should all fit in relatively well. It'll take some working into, but it should be good. At least some relativity, but let's get back to this game, back to what should be a banger, and you do have quite a bit of DMRs in the hands of, actually the same DMR to be fair. Sen's semi-recently got the 417, if I'm not mistaken, a season or so ago. Actually a very, very nice add to her list of items, and she has certainly become what I'd call more of a not niche pick, but I think she's truly fallen into the niche she was intended to be, which is you like her on some executes, and she can be very, very fun and very, very useful in those executes. So, gladly like to see some new gameplay, and we have to auto put up the senses, which is a bit of an interesting decision. I think that maybe waiting a little bit for the cutoff could have been more useful, but I'm willing to hear you out. I think the long issue, it's kind of more dependent on the same, though, is Zoe on what is a very, very hard to control gun. Slam and Waff, excuse me, all fine picks. Getting rid of Jugo is always a nice little add. Getting rid of one of those high-ticket names is at least going to make it a little easier, but Slam's still finding his value, getting rid of Matsumitsu, leaving Zoe. Take that back. Now it's just Waff, last man with a C4 in hand, and anything can happen, of course. I'm all open to that, but realistically, this one doesn't look so pretty. As your options are getting thinner and thinner, you got to make a move, but they're going to be on every corner. They're going to be hiding in every single spot, but Raquan at least can be found. I mean, a pretty hard decision overall in terms of where you fight, where you choose to even just go, but what are you taking? Map 1 was won. That's a good question. I don't think they even told me. I came on for map 2 here, so. Did they tell me? No, they did not. I'm sorry to tell you, I literally don't know who won map 1. I can ask in game chat, though. I'm assuming it'd be Grandpa's team, so I'd assume, but I don't want to, leave it out that maybe something crazy could happen. Don't worry. Soon we'll have a beautiful casting screen, and we'll have actual overlays that don't suck. And maybe even a real production. Not just one man with 2 monitors. Hear me out. Employing my brother might be a play. Just like, get his PC, get a capture card, and suddenly, we have everything being sent over. I don't know how cables would work. Shoot, maybe I get literally just a second streaming PC that's slightly weaker, but fully meant for it. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know what I'd need even. Bitrate wise, a 3060 Ti would probably do the job of 3050, but like, yeah, because I can code 2 streams, and then, I could do max graphics on this side, so y'all get an even better look, technically. That would be nice, you guys can see the true beautiful qualities. We can bump this crap up. We can get all those fancy effects in, so you can see reflective light and crap. Y'all want to see, fancy everything? I can get it done, technically. I just got to get a streaming PC. So one PC handles the streaming, one handles, the other boring stuff. It would take a while to set up, but, it could be dealt with. It'd just take a little bit. And a little bit, as in this would take a long time to really get it going, but if it did get going, when it did get going, it would be very, very nice. Maybe that's a thing I invest in if I ever do get really large in casting. That's a much larger if, that was. I don't think most of the top players, or even the top seed streamers, have 2 PCs for streaming. It might be useful for casting, but on the back end, it's only marginally useful, and on the front end, it doesn't really change that much, besides maybe slightly better production. So, maybe not, maybe, so. Sadly, I think he's going to find that mute jammer is going to provide a lot more value than most mute jammers would, simply because you don't really have a great way to get rid of it. Thatchers won't reach that far. They won't do what you really need to because they won't stick. Raquan is going to find the first pick onto Zoe, giving what is, once again, I think the more unexpected entry, but can still be made up here if you make the right plays. However, this ace charge, I think, is going to be very, very hard to deal with, as you're something you have to worry about a lot more in terms of actual position and spacing. You also have yourselves Ash charges with themselves, and they have a Monty. This can always be something to look for. Maybe they can make a play, but I think it's more down to timings and just if they can get that isolation. But you never know. And the Clash could always do something very annoying here. Is I think she knows it very well. He knows it very well, whatever you prefer to say. it's so hard to deal with them as a Monty with the clash there. You are kind of putting yourself in a position that is nearly impossible to fight against. You're also getting pings, you're getting the damage, you're at least getting something there. A bit of whip C4, but I think damage nonetheless is a good thing here. All down to these small little decisions, all down to these small little shots, and all it could take is one little shot that could give you that win. One chance, but instead, draft terrorist is going to find one more pick here. That'll be their second of the server. And give them a very, very viable post-plan situation if they decide to do so. The problem you have to worry about is Slams out outside with the diffuser. And with Ash charges kind of having this Monty being used against him, it could be very hard to fight against. But Matsumitsu is going to be found by Roquan as he just plays it perfectly and runs in. The aggression perfectly works out. Slams out finishes beating Grandpa. And that was a beautiful round from what could have been a very hard situation to come back from. But so far, the TTV kids, maybe not being the strongest thing we've seen so far. Am I worried? Not quite yet, but... Okay, yeah, Masamitsu won. Okay, yeah, so this is technically series... This is the series point, technically, for the side of Matsumitsu's team, so... Yawn. Yo, what is that name? That's I'm not even hating. It's just the longest name ever. JP Hogs 112. That is a long, complex name, my man's. Low key, keep it though, because it's kind of entertaining. I've seen some fun names from time to time. Ow, finger. I will say, overall, this should at least be a good map 2, hopefully even a map 3. And I think we can even check in on...
Use as many bombs as they can.
Maybe a little bit of the mental for the other players. I don't know how many are even live, though. Let me think. I know you're not live. You're not live. Matsumitsu is. Okay, yeah, he is live with 84 viewers. Has himself a sizable stack. Not a good joke. Well, whatever. I'll make that joke later. And we still have ourselves a grand finals. Come on now. At the end of the day, he's probably going to be the biggest name in terms of how he plays. Also, at this point, I'm not even hating Matsumitsu, but is there really need for a hand cam? Dude, you've hand cammed yourself for like 800,000 hours. I promise you, we believe you. You're roller. You don't have to keep showing it. I promise. You can just have a face cam instead, dude. Pinky promise, we're not gonna... Oh, he has both. It's a duel. Oh my god. Maybe it's just the default setup, but that is hilarious to me. You have a hand cam, face cam setup as one of the most like hand cam dudes in history. Like, I promise you, we know you're roller gang. You don't have to do it. I don't know, maybe it's just a signature thing. Maybe I'm just a hater. I will say, I'm pretty sure drops are on as well tonight for the side of Twitch. The rest, I don't know. So don't call me on that for the rest of them. I know TikTok had their thing. I don't know if that's still going. And Blade just kind of unshielded in the middle of everything. I don't know what the plan was there specifically for him, but I guess swing how you gotta swing, fight how you gotta fight. Who am I to judge? Look, imagine I get partner, even though like literally like 4 people even have partner on Twitch for R6. Like no one has partner. Ash Charges has themselves a possible situation here where they could make a move. 0-1, so maybe not the greatest start, but there's always the chance to go forward. There's always the chance to improve, but Raquan's going to do it first. It's 6-2 in a beautiful couple of rounds here. I mean, you can't do much better than what he's really put up, and I think if you are this team right now, you're just glad you're hanging in there. This is 2-1. This is a winnable 3-1 possibly. That'd be huge as a team to get yourself that advantage. Ugh. Try not to fall asleep here. Draft Terrorist finds another one on Jugo. At least I think the strong start you need here, because it can always be an issue maybe if Matsumitsu makes a move, if someone goes off strong, but so far it's felt dominant from the get-go, but WAP is going to be found. Grandpa at least finds something, but all matter is Draft Terrorist and Slams out, find a quick 1-2. It seems that they're not taunted by those big names, and they're blocking in. Huh. I will say there's a handful of things I think that these teams could be doing better, and it does mostly fall into these minute issues where sometimes as a team you will go into a specific rhythm almost. A lot of the top teams will do it. Think of like SSG, think of, you know, even Furia at one point had this rhythm that they would go into, and that was just how they played. Nothing against them, they were in that rhythm. You knew them for what was a very consistent strategy. I think that the issue that is kind of the exact opposite of a lot of these teams is they don't really have that. That rhythm isn't found anywhere near as much, you know, in roller rivals. And when you do see a team that does get into that rhythm, it can feel so hard to get rid of because it feels so impossible to fight. It's more rare, certainly, but when it does happen, it is kind of a beauty to see. And apparently we're seeing it against a game that was supposed to be a severe underdog game for Raquan's team, but so far they're putting up the performance that would make you assume the exact opposite. Doesn't always happen maybe from the people you'd expect, but we have ourselves a beauty of a game tonight, and it's coming thanks to one man. Not one man, a group of people, but let's be honest now, I think one person is dominated to such a significant degree, it's hard to even assume anything different. You know exactly who's been it. Raquan has felt so at the middle of this and just kept the kept the pulse of this game in his hand. He knows what he's doing, and I think we've seen that pretty well. Is it feels like no one can really catch up to him. I think that it feels like he's at a position that is significantly more advantageous than anyone expected. And a whiffed Ashard is going to hurt quite a bit here, as you really don't want to have to lose any type of utility. It could have been spent getting rid of this DP shield and maybe getting your garage position to be a little bit stronger. Wow, he missed it twice. That'll be a huge issue here, is suddenly what could have been maybe a winnable fight is now your questioning, I think, is rising a lot more. Could something always happen? Sure, but I don't think at this point you're going to be able to see a fight even on this area. Instead, you're going to have to take the fight, the more disadvantageous one if you are even going in garage, but it feels like a lot of the places have gone otherwise. Blade finds something. Ash Charge maybe considering the drop, but not a good idea, as Grandpa's waiting for that moment, waiting for that chance. Jugo is going to find one as he runs up. Still going aggressive here. He finds two on the Ash Charges. All of that utility, all that momentum that could have gone, but on the side, Slams out, finding value. Taken out by Jugo as he's gone massive in this round. Even more shots taken as everyone is just trying to find something there. The madness continues. Now you left down the Blade here, trying to find those feet on a Grandpa, but not anywhere near enough damage. It's just really a start. What needs to be a much bigger fight, but instead, Grandpa swings at just the right time, catches Blade out, and now you do have Raquan left in a 1v3. We have seen him going crazy so far in these first 4 rounds, but you're going to need more. You're going to need, I think, a much bigger ceiling and a much bigger performance than we've ever seen from him. But this angle is hard to fight. It feels nearly impossible to even try to fight. Instead, Raquan left in what is a very hard situation. He might have the right angle, but it might not be enough here, as Zoe is just waiting for him. One more round goes the way of Jugo's team. And maybe they do have themselves and even half in the minds, in the thoughts, and the hopes of this team. Ugh. Ow. I will say for any of you that have been watching the entire thing, thank y'all, because let's be honest, this is a slog of a start. It started out great. You had yourself a relatively good game. It looked fine for the first couple rounds, and then Raid leaves, and then they forfeit the whole series, and then there's a break in between, and then now we have another game. So I really do hope that this one can be just a little closer, with Jugo certainly being, I think, the main player so far. Matsumitsu, I think, struggling just a little bit to get off, but he also isn't really known for his bang gameplay, so I wouldn't really expect anything from him here. I think it'll come much later, if at all. But I do expect a performance from him eventually. I think, sadly, this is the wrong map for him. He's not generally better on these larger maps. He's fine on Clubhouse, but other than that, it's not really his plays. I will say, though, Border as a map 3, if we do get there, should benefit Matsumitsu significantly going into that. I think that if we do get there, Matsumitsu could probably drop 10 or 12 kills pretty easily, maybe even grace 15 or even 20. Within reason, I think. But it's more dependent on, you would prefer, for obvious reasons, to just have your map 2 win, go 2-0, and then get ready for a grand finals fight against Raid, which is going to be not against Raid, against Glybo, which should be a banger of a game. Also, I'm not going to lie, immediately after this stream ends, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on to another Ubisoft game called The Division 2, and proceed to play that for 2 hours straight. I don't care if it's till 1 in the morning. I'm doing it. And I'm gonna wake up at 8:45, and then get ready for a workout, and then immediately go cast seasonal series for whatever that's worth nowadays. Maybe the console mind and community doesn't really care about that kind of thing. I wouldn't be super duper surprised. It feels like the console community can be very split in terms of what they truly like to watch. A lot of the PC players do love Pro League. Console's a lot more split though. I think console viewership in terms of actual Pro League and casting is so much weirder to really quantify. If it has popular players, sure, but it ranges wildly in terms of matchups. So I know it's obviously a smaller sample size, I think. PC isn't generally what I cast, but Jugo at least finds the first peg, and what has been probably his best weapon by a pretty large margin. He seems to be amazing with that very annoying shotgun in hand. No hit onto him is, it's very, very effective, but I don't think anyone's going to say they enjoy going against this thing. Especially at this sort of range, where you can't do anything about it. You have to peek this window sooner or later, and he can one-shot you. That is a very annoying fact. There isn't really a lot you can do about that. Hey, Ash Charger's going to make his move in. Or at least start that move as he finds himself one pick here. I'm trying to regain that entry. Ash charges. It's right there. No? Okay. Don't shoot the thing. Instead, Daddy Blade is going to find him one more. Jugo and Evil Grandpa left themselves in a very hard situation here, where I think that the numbers do only represent only partially the struggle that they're going to have to face. Don't get me wrong, a 2v4 is not easy, but I think there's more nuance to a 2v4 like this, where there's a lot more you have to look at. Miss Bashi's shot is going to hurt for a lot more. I think now that you don't have that much time, Grandpa's going to be found in 1v4. Now you have to aggressive, but Raquan is just waiting for it. Jugo found, and suddenly maybe the Indomitable team doesn't look all too strong going into this second half. Okay. Now, with what I think is very basic bans, but with a certain reason to them. You certainly look at those two attack bans, and you'll know exactly why they were taken away. The shields are always going to be hard to deal with, and, be safe.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Sadly, for what is more of a questionable run, let's talk about some boring current news. David, the popular singer, as we're waiting for this prep phase to end, is now caught himself in the middle of what is easily one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Good lord. Apparently, you can't be rich and famous and young
Attacker's objective is
and not just be the version of Cupcake Lover, certain name, without, you know, being famous. Like, you know, we can't just be a normal person with a crap ton of money. Gotcha. Hey, but now we do have ourselves one more, hopefully, important round here, where I think this is the most influential, at least of this half, where you can decide the tone so quickly, and it could be decided by what is a very aggressive rush here, at least in the plans. As you see, everybody down here, 3 people, all assumptions lead to just this one little spot here, and that could be a very, very great play, and it could be a very, very bad play. It's all about that sight and vision. Grandpa, though, at least finds one. Issue I think he's going to find is where Kwan's waiting for him if he peeks too hard. Kwan sitting in this corner. I think he's just waiting for his moment. He's waiting for that second that he feels that he can have it. All problem is only one missed shot and you're done. He does at least find Evil Grandpa, though. Matsumitsu might have an idea there. Might make the play. Jugo finds one more into sight, as that is where a lot of the fight is happening. But Kwan cut off. Jugo with another. Finish up by Zoe, but maybe a bit of a question way in there, and the post plant was looking to be pretty eventful. Well played on the upstairs and blocked that one right up. Interesting. I'm looking at just the quick little raw number stats here because I love myself some sexy little numbers. Some of you might find they're repulsive. I would also understand. Let's be honest, these numbers aren't exactly the most intuitive. If someone shoves you 4 different weird numbers with absolutely no real description of them, it can seem a little bit strong. So let's see if I can simplify what we do have here tonight. Oh, okay. I guess the numbers are a little questionable in terms of how they're played out, but see if we can make them a little. There we go. Much better for my eyes and yours. Cost ratings. This can vary wildly between players, but there is one man who has the strongest. Cost is kill, objective, survival, or trade. If you have one of those 4 in any of the, or in your round, that counts as, you know, 100% for that round. You average it out over all the rounds, suddenly you have your cost rating. No, it cannot go above 100%. But so far, we only have one player with 100%. Kwan. Beautiful so far. 3-0 on the entry. So first picks. Pretty strong overall. 1.29 kills per round. A 1.3 rating. Oh, excuse me, 1.59. For context, that is probably one of the more ridiculous ratings I've seen in my 8 months of casting. Consistently. However, on the other side, Jugo's still putting up some good value here. 2-1 on the entry is not a thing to scoff at. Draft Terrace is finding himself a pick onto Matsumitsu. I think once again, this is just not going to be his map. It's not something to look at, but another one for Grandpa's beautiful hold of a pixel. Finds them that pretty large advantage. I think the issue, though, is how much you're willing to really give up. And if you do give up, you know, let's say this map here, is that enough momentum to make up for the fact that you're going to have a more advantageous map 3 for you? And I don't know that. That is the biggest question, I think, is if they do lose, what's the next plan? At least what for real is going to find something. Maybe try to bring it a little bit closer, but they're going to need more than just one pick to finish this one out. Well, a good nade could certainly do it. At least damage onto it, which should help a little bit, but even better nade there, perfectly rolling in the middle, at least causing a little bit of double take, a little bit of back pushing. I think what is kind of just waiting, or Suzy Waff is waiting for his moment here is, I think he knows it very well. They're all around him, and he's just kind of just stuck waiting for his moment. Jugo, on the other hand, is I think in a little bit more of a position that can rely. He can make his own move, he can try to make his own change, but the issue is he's got to be very, very aggressive and very, very gutsy to make it. I don't think if he plays it safe here, he's going to do anything. He's got to try to repel in on one of the hardest repels to stop. At least survive from, more accurately. So that has one of the worst attacker survival rates if you do repel in, so we'll see if that can work out. The shots are going to come the way. Zoe's still trying to make that move. Draft Terrorist to just find one more, leaving Jugo in an even harder situation, but the longer you do this, the more your options are going to thin, and down won't matter. As long as this goes on, you got to have some hope here. You got to have some help. You got to make that move. You can't just sit here and wait for a moment. You got to go aggressive like Zoe. You can't afford to wait anymore. It's always be the issue is you got to really, I think, make your moment. You got to find that highlight reel. You got to make your own plays. He's at least going to find Ash. That'll be the start, but time is always going to be the issue, and so is a cross maybe going to be held from Slamzow that he misses a little bit. Gives you just a little bit of space, maybe a little bit of a chance, but Draft Terrorist with 4 kills now. It'd be a perfect ace in contention here if he plays it just right. That was cool. All right. Now with 1 man, 3 people left. I'm all for some crazy peaks and some crazy kills, but my doubts are a little more lingering, as with only 13 seconds left, the time is going to slow down. Zoe knows it is. He might be able to find all pick at best, but this is over. Draft Terrorist finishes with a beautiful ace, finding the value galore. And a whiff C4. I mean, I would have missed anyways, but still. Ugh. I low-key might have to have a stretch break in between these maps if we do go for another one, which seems ever so more likely, as this has not been the greatest performance, at least stats-wise, from the side of Jugo's team. He might be performing amazingly well, at least in the general, but Raquan right now is kind of dominating, I think, to some degree. You also have Draft Terrorist after an ace, certainly bring himself up the leaderboard, but I think that is much more of a one-round impact, not so much that game impact you'd hope for with your superstar players.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
I will say it has been a little bit slow of a game, I think, in terms of actual play style. None of those crazy plays you'd hope to see. None of those really aggressive shots. And that can certainly happen at times. I wouldn't say prep for it. I'd simply say accept what you have. And also, I'm pretty sure there's an ad break that's either going to happen right now or it's about to happen, so... Sorry for the some of you that are going to have that. I'd say sub, but honestly, I don't know if I'd recommend that. You want to pay my DoorDash fees for, the expensive ass, Chinese food. Ain't my fault. Chinese food's so expensive nowadays. I'm going broke here from DoorDash. But... I will say, there's still, I think, a very, very large chance that there could be maybe a comeback here from the side of Jugo and his team, but it is reliant on one man who I don't think is going to play good, playing amazing here, or having a big step up with everyone else doing it, because Matsumitsu isn't generally the best large map player. He loves those tinier maps that can allow him to sort of, I guess, work in between a much smaller workstation almost, if that makes sense. He's better when he has, I guess, restrictions is the best way to put it. Hard breach is also a very, very risky decision here from Matsumitsu. That does limit how much you can do. Truly. And I think the issue with all of these is you always have to just kind of wait and see, because as much as I can cast, These executes here can always be such a touch and go process. As a team, it feels hard to just even execute. You have to rely on luck. You have to rely on what isn't generally a lot in your control. Sometimes you just have to pray it works out, and if the aggression's going to come in, you're going to go for the plan at least, and now it's got to be prayed to not be stopped. But that time he's getting ever so close, and I think we do have ourselves a plant going down. However, you're also going to see the diffuser getting finally, the planner more accurately going down. Having a 3v2 is always a hard situation, but if Raquan can find at least one here, there might be a chance, there might be a miracle in the cards. Bad joke, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, but more damage is always the best, and now here it's going to be all about the time, is how well can you torch what you have. You got to swing, you got to go for the diffuse player, but it might not matter as it was beautifully played. One distracts, the other goes for it, and you have yourselves a match point. If all he did was hit a couple shots there, he could have taken care of it. He could have saved that round, but instead, I think a great duo play right there to make up for maybe the lack of true aim strength. And that has sort of been the name of the game here, is you don't have the strongest aim strength, but everything else has felt so much better. At the end of the day, that is also worth quite a bit. I shall look for maybe just one more chance. Maybe there's still a slight little 0.1% chance we have of, you know, maybe a miracle coming through, and suddenly we can see maybe a pullout here from Jugo into a 2-0, but all signs point to that map 3.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
What is left for the side that is currently winning? I think is a question that isn't generally asked, especially for these smaller names, but this has felt so perfect in terms of playstyle. Raquan has stepped up when he needed to. There's still been a valiant effort from everyone else, and that's the difference, I think, is that even those players like Ash Charges, who maybe aren't doing the greatest, I think he's still able to find himself consistent value. Because he's playing maybe some of the more unfun ops. He's playing that castle that you need. He's playing, you know, the ops that no one wants to play. But he's willing to do it knowing that he can provide the most value even though he's struggling with the aim. And that is, I think, what separates these teams right now. I think the aim is close enough. The strategy isn't super far apart. But that selflessness, I think, is what is going to kind of catch these guys in a better position. I also think that the motivation of beating these kind of players significantly does work. It is a real thing that you'll do everything you can. You'll make sure, you know, you never chalk. You'll do everything possible to see if you can beat one of the better players. One of the truly known guys. Beat Matsumitsu. Beat Jugo. Beat Grandpa TTV. All of those names, big or not, you know, you can argue how big they are, but they still provide, I think, so much of a goal. And that can sometimes feel different and not even a thing in a lot of teams. A lot of the best teams don't have that goal of winning because they don't care. The money doesn't mean that much to them. The winning doesn't mean that much to them. But I think for a team like this where they're not super hard winners, they don't have a lot of wins, this means absolutely more. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to make sure they try to play tooth and nail, but Draft is going to find another pick. So far, it feels like it just has consistently gone their way. They played it just right. And the perfect ingredient in what has been a very, very strong defense. No. Raquan did not win map 1. He won a map. Or he won, actually, he lost pretty badly, actually, map 1. This has been a significant uptick, and now, finally, we have ourselves one final map. Sorry, I'll update the, thing real quick. Map 1's both sides. Seven 3. So forgive the questionable score things. I don't have it like really super well set up. So you're not going to see the greatest look, but it'll at least put it into perspective. Evil bananas. Yo, well, I guess we have ourselves a little bit of a tech pause. Nobody die for 45 seconds, so I figure out what the hell's going on with my PC. Now we're back to some degree. Again, I don't really know. It's been a really big touch and go process with what feels like everything with Ubisoft recently, but we got there. Maybe a little bit questionably, but we got there. It didn't matter if the ride was dilapidated on the way there. We did, in fact, get there. Let's see what else is going on. We have Grandpa streaming to 13. Sino, if y'all know him. Who's else? Glybo's offline, surprisingly. I'll admit I kind of expected to see the man offline after what was a pretty well done map win for him. Who else maybe? Vizex, because that man, whatever you think about him, he is always live. He's always grinding. Madman for it. And also a start, please. Start. I don't, do we intend on starting within the next 12 years? That'd be nice. And never mind, we got it figured out. I don't know what that issue was, but we're back with a final map for before semi, or before grand finals. Winner takes all. Winner takes that one chance to fight Glybo and what feels like the indomitable man who always ends himself in finals. Say what you will about Glybo as a player. I don't care if you think he's nonchalant, if you think he's ass. He is always in finals. That man has not been in finals in like 6 finals now. He's always top 4. Like, I don't think he's ever not been top 4 in like the past 2 weeks whenever he plays. It's a little absurd. Is it because he's playing with great teams? Yes. Is it also because he's dropping like 10 a game generally? Yes. Both things can be true. When they are, you do run into what it feels like one of the best players consistently. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next Roller Prime we do see him come out with it. I probably will not be obviously casting grand finals of that Prime, simply because I don't think, you know, they're going to be super duper, like, fine with that when Whiskey Run, or excuse me, Double Shot is always there, and they're like the guys. you know, it is like the guys, like, you know, I'll be there for Prime. I'll be there to cast and have some fun with probably what is going to be the best roster players you'll see in the month. But until then, we'll see. Actually, the best one probably was a late night Saturday night sponsor of a $2,000 tourney from Elite, who actually put up a pretty damn good game overall. Very, very fun. So, you know, when those sponsors do come in and when there is a check and you see everyone else coming in, it can be a fun night. So we'll certainly see if maybe we get to see that for Prime as we do maybe see a sponsor or two. Could be possible. Could be no sponsors. We'll certainly have to look and see. And yes, you're correct. Not Evil Banana. You know what? Screw it. Evil Banana. That's the new name. You're apparently from Minions now. Evil Banana did in fact win map 1. I don't know to what degree, so take this with a not large grain of salt. Take with this a questionable grain of salt. I don't know what the score is, which is why I don't have a map score in the top right by the maps. It said it's just there, so do know he won. I just can't tell you how and to what degree. So sorry, I guess to some point. Ow, damn. I low-key, we'll see. I might not cast finals. Simply because I just don't have time. I might, but like, tonight's getting kind of late. I don't know. We'll take a pull, maybe. I can certainly try, but that's the only problem with the roller rivals I have is, I love them. You know, they're a great community to cast. Sometimes I think they have a lot of really fun, administrators that run everything. But like, this shit goes so late. Like, I love y'all, but like, I need to go to bed. I don't run this late. I'm not built for this kind of life. Y'all might be, but I'm white boy soft, bro. Don't force me to stay up this late. I like my, 8 hours and 45 minutes of sleep every night on the night. Like, let me keep that. You're all gonna see draft heroes. Find the first 2 picks so far. As apparently their thought is, who needs who needs a team? One man. Yeah, that's the new meta, is just have one man drop all your kills. That'd actually work long term. Is Valkyrie's gonna take the aggressive fight? Maybe, just maybe. Finish off by Slamzo. Maybe not the person you expected, but it does seem that the big names have no longer really led up to, and really done as well as we thought. Is a flawless round and a beautiful shot to finish. Maybe, just maybe, there's a real chance that the underdogs can pull it out. Either way, yeah, I'm starting to think this might be my last map. I just want to go to bed, like, kind of bad. Y'all are great, it's just I'm, like, tired as hell, man. Kirby. I want a fat Kirby plushie. I'm talking like huge.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
All right, let's see what we have with our last little bit of strength left. Ooh, we get one of our, not rare, but probably one of the most fun skins to look at. Let's see, man, there we go. The Vigil 3D crossbow skin. Not super duper common to see, but when you do see it, it does look awesome in game. And I do really enjoy it if you do ever get to have a chance to see it, but it is certainly one of those things that I think is not super common, but it's probably one of my favorite skins, actually. It is a little bit crazy to think it's one of my favorite skins. Yes, but like, you know what? I have my favorites. I have my likes, my enjoyments. And if it's going to be that, it's going to be that. Well, apparently drones galore is the issue and the answer. Jugo at least has Mozzie here to maybe help a little bit with, it could be some pretty persistent drones, but I do question the efficacy of one person doing it, so we'll see. Always a chance. Bro, alright. There we go. I typed out the question. This is why this is map 3. There is no more points. Evil Grandpa's gonna find things. Slams Out has been consistently dropping a good number though. Draft Terrorist maybe with a chance to follow up what was one of the best rounds. All you gotta do here is just win it out. Draft Terrorist with another one. Question the name, but the efficacy of the player is not being put in question. Certainly been a damn good day for him. And seriously. You know, sometimes we're not all cut out for it, I guess. That's some questionable stuff from... So what happened? How did you go from losing 6 straight or so to your... Somehow, absolutely, at least the second map was domination. You had that locked up. You had a 7-3 win against Jugo, Matsumitsu, and Evil Grandpa. That is absurd levels of gameplay that we didn't even expect to see. So now you have to follow it up with what could be a very, very insane run if you do finish it out here. An underdog run that could be worth something. Honestly, I think that all roads lead to one man. That man is Glybo. No one else to fight against, and that is always going to be the issue to some degree. What can you do against a man like him? Maybe that's sitting in this corner here. Whatever. Matsumitsu might be able to find one. He at least finds that. A little more damage on the charges here. It's always what you want, but Terrorist maybe gonna lurk himself behind, find that pick instead. Never mind. I was about to say he was gonna get back, or he's gonna get just kind of wiped because he was playing a pretty hard angle, but really not. Now you have yourselves 15 seconds off 2 people in a 2v2. Post plan's gonna be a pretty hard sell here, even if you do try to get there. You have to be almost perfect, and now you're gonna have to see Ash charges come out with it. Maybe gonna dodge a C4 or 2, but that's always gonna be the issue is time fights. Ash charges has to hold everything by himself, hold the wall, hold the line, but instead it's played perfectly. And Grandpa do pull it out, getting it back to 1-1. Hear me out. If you're not listening to Hot and Hear from Nelly, you're not playing right. If you're not throwing music on in the back of your games, what are you doing? Ooh, and we get to see Matsumitsu on what is kind of one of the more common ops now. That Pulse finally has a secondary worth something. Real Warrior's pistol isn't exactly an SMG 12 or 11, but it's still got a pretty damn good secondary value. It does allow for a little bit of shotgun play, sort of like how people used to and still do in Pro League, run the Ella with the FO12 and or the auto shotgun with an extended barrel. The pistol is good. Is it that good? Maybe not, but I've seen more value than you think on it. It works relatively well at that level. So maybe this is the new change. Maybe Matsumitsu on the shotgun and the pistol could be a crazy play. Maybe, just maybe. That-wise, it's relatively bland. I'm not really blown away by any of the ideas being shown. I will say the crouch holes across is at least somewhat unique. Though to be fair, I've seen some pretty crazy things in my time. Not even just a week, not even less than a week ago. I saw a pretty unique strategy of Tachanka opening up the entire wall for a T3 PC. It was done by Skyline Reno, I want to say. No, yeah, I think it was done Skyline Reno's game. They just lost that round. Slams out, does find himself another first pick though. Relatively consistent so far in those numbers, and I feel like he kind of is just been good at that. Besides, obviously, the most absurd stat lines from Terrorist. It's a start. Problem is now you're putting yourself in a situation that is kind of built to be hard to fight and hard to win. Simply because there's not really a lot you can do. But maybe you can just hold this angle, be aggressive, and maybe find something out of your value here. I don't think they think that anyone would even be willing to sit here. I mean, who would? This is a madman angle. This is something out of a fiction, a fairy tale, a folklore. Like, instead, absolutely beautiful shot from Ash Charges on a Jugo. You might not have known. Maybe you did, but that was literally the most perfect shot I've seen in a long time. Perfect jiggle, perfect play, and not a lot of time to even do anything. Ugh. Now, with a minute 15 left and a 2-player advantage, it feels like we're going back to that same normality that we saw. Maybe not the way you'd want it to go if you're a Jugo fan, but always a chance. Low-key, I should have just taken it out. I should have straight up taken like an hour nap, like a 45-minute nap just for something, then pick myself back up and then cast finals. I think that would just straight up do better. Also, when it's Saturdays and Sundays, we really just got to start these tournaments earlier. Like, I love that, you know, these tournaments are late nights and that's their whole thing, but, like, we got to do it earlier, man. No one can stay up this late consistently. This reason half the players don't play any of the weekday stuff. It's because they're dead inside because they had to stay up for 4. Okay. My bad. Shit, my bad, King. I didn't know I was even familiar with that level of game. That's a little ridiculous. I don't even think I've seen that before. Who just, I mean, it was just I knew it was just a random shot. Like, you know, oh, well, you know, maybe you'll hit something. He actually hit something, though. He one-tapped the hell out of a kitten. You got put on a poster. It's like being poster dunked. That actually kind of sucks, though. If you're the one being poster dunked. If Slams out, you know, I guarantee you he's jumping up and down because he just hit a crazy-ass clip in a one-tap. Now, hear me out. It's still winnable for, you know, Matsumitsu's team. Is it kind of bad that they have gone hilariously bad in the past, you know, 10 rounds? Yes, that doesn't look great, but I do have that hope that maybe they can turn it around. How they turn it around? There's like a handful of options. Either we see a throw under pressure, which could happen, but the more likely odds, I think, is that you have to see a big step up from someone here, preferably Matsumitsu. But we'll see. I think that is certainly the value sometimes, is the energy can get a little hard to keep up at 10, you know, at 11 at night or midnight at night, depending on where you live, as one man. But sometimes that co-caster can feel so much like a breath of fresh air. Keep you pumped up, keep them pumped up. Because there's a reason. It's not like the reason most people have a co-caster is not because, you know, it's always the, like, sometimes the chemistry always adds something, but like trying to have the high energy over a full match is absurd. especially over a BO3. So if you can give yourself a little bit of a break almost at times and let yourself sink back in and recharge for another big push of, 5 kills in 4 seconds, it helps. It's very, very common. There's a reason it's in 95% of games. Plus fun duo chem. Now Jugo is found once again is... It feels that he just hasn't been the same absolute dominance we saw early on. Matt, on bank there, he dominated so well at some points, and then now he's just kind of falling off the cliff, and that is something to worry about, I think. Now they somehow do bandit trick it. I think maybe a gutsy bandit trick in terms of what could be around you, but the nerve to respect it and to still try to go for it is insane to me, and an unlucky drop from absolutely cut out by WAF. It is at least a good start there and maybe something to come back from, but Ash from below, Draft Terrorist does finally get taken down by Matsumitsu, and now you're left in a 2v3 with a shotgun in hand and all the electricity you need. Problem is that it's on the wrong side here. Having all your electricity upstairs might not really give us advantageous position. And 2 players, both still kind of playing aggressive and forcing possibly Evil Grandpa to make a move that he doesn't really want to make, which is take that fight. He might be forced to really take a fight here at a minute. And I think the reason he doesn't want to is because he knows to some degree you're risking a little bit of everything. If you win, there's still a chance they could because they still have numbers on you. But if you lose, it's a probably over game. I will say, Pulse with no C4 certainly isn't going to make it easier. And make that 0 C4s on the board at all, as one more is missed. I just got to not throw, but Grandpa at least finds one. This is the start, maybe. Can't afford to throw it, and he knows it. Got to just play your numbers right, because there's not a lot else you can really afford to lose. Aggression down below, maybe, is slams out, trying to make his move, but it's a big circle. Ash charges, does find one. Matsumitsu, the last man standing. All you got to do is not swing, not be aggressive, but he does, and slams out, finds it. Could have been a perfect play, could have been a 2-2. Instead, the aggression severely impacts. And that'll hurt the most. I am trying to find... I guess not. Never mind. I was trying to see if I can find the long-term stats for Raquan real quick, but I just straight up can't see this dude. So maybe I'm not looking hard enough, or maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot. Maybe he's a draft warrior, but like I cannot see it at all. All right, let's see what we can find though. Slamzo, though, has certainly at least taken that very much 1A role in this entirety of the server, as it feels that he was replacing the role that Raquan had. Nash charges is still making some value with the 4-2 stat line. It's not bad at all. What is... He's a 0x? Really? Actually, that fits. I don't know Raquan. I don't know. Wait, is he... He's in stream? No. No, no way, right? There's no way we're stream sniping the caster. Hold up. Loki, take a screenshot of that, please. There's no fucking way. No, 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 right? No, there would be no way. I'll be damned. You know what? Actually, that's a pretty bad 2v4, but like... All right, let's see what else we have, though, as we do have whatever that was resolved. It might be wrong. He might be kind of screwed. I don't know, because I'm a caster gang. I'm not the rulebook. Or is this a BOGO thing? This is a BOGO thing. I just put in a pot. I just put like a hyphen or whatever it's called. The little star thing that's not really important. That's only used for like editing stuff and saying as a retrospective. Well, maybe not what I need. Slams out is maybe looking to make the aggressive play as well as draft terrorists, but the options are so limited in a situation like this because you don't really have a lot you can do. So we'll have to see what can be done and what can even be changed to even go for this. Not a 2v3. Terrorist at least finds one, but he's literally the lowest you can even possibly be really here. Don't have many more options here, and you got to go aggressive with the swing. Wow, so a lot of 0x today. Another hiding in the corner might find one. Waff at least finds one more. Tread it out, now left in a 1v1. Grandpa just going to probably sit in the corner as he can play it just into his time. Nothing even has to do really here is just play it right, don't go aggressive, and you have this one. You have this one in the bag. And he knows it. One more round. Why can't I at BOGO right now? What is going on with my internet? Holy, man, it's tweaking right now. Should be tweaking. Like, is that wrong? No. Like, I feel like we went over this and like there was like a rule that said technically you can stream snipe. It's not our issue, but like, I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm all for some 0x just trying to do their best, but like,
Defenders, protect your bombs from
respectfully, is Grandpa even supposed to be here? Like, I like the viewer, obviously, but like, isn't there like a rule against that? If not, then stay and enjoy. But like, isn't there a rule against this? I swear there was. I don't know. I guess watch until you got him. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Both teams stream sniping in the same stream. Really? I mean, I guess this is literally just turned into Stream Sniping Wars. This is the Eye in the Sky tournament from RPL with 4 extra steps and delay. Also, the delay is still like 3 minutes. It's like 2 minute long. Like, this is not a short delay. I don't know what you're going to find here. I'm pretty sure it's 120 seconds. So, oh, well, I mean, I don't have a choice. I'm at the will of the, I'm a caster. I'm at the will of them, and 90 seconds is the minimum, but I said 120 because that's just like how I do it. The draft terrorist at least seems to find another pick. So, I guess I'm fine. I don't know why they're here. I mean, I know why they're here. They want to win, but like, really, Grandpa, you gotta pull out this. Whatever, I guess. Use everything at your disposal, I suppose. Yeah, Jugo though, maybe he needs to hop in the stream a little bit. Been a little bit of a weaker start for him, and I think this is more just because he's just been a very unlucky dude in terms of fights. In terms of just positioning and distance, his fights have not been what you'd want to have for having a shotgun generally. Hey, but at least you have your first kill there. Maybe it took a little bit longer than you hoped, but one nice shot can certainly at least help that little not so great styling right now. Plus the SMB-12 in hand, you never know. Also, how is Ash charges in sight? Oh, wait. Hold up, she's not in sight. I'm tweaking. Jugo's just roaming like a madman. And Matsumitsu's got, well, I suppose he has his pulse to do his job. They have one last man. Swing right, maybe you can find it. This is a really hard angle to fight. Maybe Jugo can find it, though. Also, Grandpa, the other team, and I don't really know who's in here because I didn't check. Hey, y'all. How is your day going? You know, Grandpa, it's interesting to see you in here. I honestly thought you wouldn't because, like, an ego thing. You know what? You use what you have at you, and Jugo finds a double. Hell yeah for the man. 2 hips and a hooray because, you know what? I do think that he's kind of just been at the short end of the stick for a lot of this. Does that make it better that he's down so much? Not really, but, you know, they find themselves the even half, and I suppose that is worth all of it. I will admit, though, it's hilarious to see 2 different streamer, or two of my 3 viewers just stream sniping the hell out of this game. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest though. Y'all should skedaddle out of stream. I said. I just have never seen that. Maybe this is just because this is what Roller Rivals is like, and like that's. I know what to call it, like normal, but like it's like more normal. Like if that happened in a PC league, you're permabanned from 95% of the leagues and blacklisted from the ones that you aren't. Like, it is bad. So I suppose it's just a difference in personalities. I'm honestly just not used to it. Hey, Evil Grandpa, 24 viewers. Good job for you. Unironically, good for you, though. We are no hater, man. Good for him. Putting up some good viewers. Hell yeah. Oh. Let's see.
To locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Ow. Now, with just a little chance, and also it has been a little bit of a slower start, I think, and what will be probably a slower start in general. You never know how this can play out, but I think the options and likely things that are replayed is more passive. Now, a little bit of shots as Raquan at least find some damage here, but doesn't seem that that's going to be all that important, as Matsumitsu, with a shotgun in hand, is going to be most likely the main man to look for. So always pay attention, always see what he's going to be doing. Man, that can always, I think, be an impact maker, and I think this is going to be his better map overall. He's at least had a better start, but you really do want to try to end it early on here. Don't want to let this go on as long as it has. And that can always be more important. Is sometimes that speed of the actual game can genuinely be a big issue, because some teams will experience burnout. They'll struggle in the later rounds. They'll struggle to not even deal with the pressure, just the actual strain of playing a game. That is kind of toxic for so many hours on end. Yeah, with Matsumitsu at least finding something there. The Quan goes down. He's going to go for the plant. It looks to be very likely unstoppable, as you can't really see it there in the smoke. And Matsumitsu finds one more, leaving just Draft Terrorist and a 1v4. Finds one, but I don't think it'll matter here as long as he plays it smart. I will admit it's a little weird. I don't know. This game has certainly felt like that. Alright, let's see here. What are the odds? Now we just see 3 rounds in a row, Evil Grandpa and Jugo slam it out, and Matsumitsu ends his MVP. Huh.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Now, at least I think the plan can work here, as you have what is a, well, as I say that, a very, very good drone here from Zodish means not so much. Those mirrors are sadly going to be pretty damn useless when they have a laser beam chucked through it. No, you have no more than a very large paperweight and a very lost piece of the pretty essential area. Zodish. Now the one little chance, maybe in one big shot here to take that big advantage, finally have the numbers they need to maybe close it out in a 3-5. I think if they can get to that point, it feels like it can be smooth sailing from there, but it's important here. Win those fights, win those early shots, and maybe you just have it. Zodish at least finds one here, getting him a little bit more of an advantage. Getting a terrorist is going to help. Has easily been the top frag of the server. The more aggressive fights are always going to be the ones you want to take here. It can be so valuable if you can find that pick. Grandpa trades. Jugo does find something, but it's always going to be, I think, that balance here is WAF does go down. Your options get thinner and thinner, but if you can find at least Blade here, it might be very winnable. Zodish doesn't, not with a 4v2 and a res. Suddenly, this feels all but impossible to lose. Slams out. Ash Shard is both left in a 2v4. All the options are maybe there, but you have to be kind of perfect here, whereas your options are... Yes, they're there. You can still win this, and don't get me wrong, I've seen crazier, but there's not a lot you can do sometimes. Hey, it does it now. You know, it doesn't look as good as I want, but Grandpa finishes. Our score is 5-3. We'll see how it ends out. Seven viewers. You know what? Honestly, you know, it'd be fun. A collaboration. I've never done one of those. People, I've seen so many about these, but I've never actually done them. Also, by the way, this is your new, I forgot I can do this. In 6 minutes and 30 seconds, there will be an ad. Minute 30 ad. I can't do anything about that.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do here. I will say it's kind of weird trying to get these ad breaks to, like, line up what I want them to be.
Bombs located by attackers.
We'll see what we have, though. Draft Terrorist might be able to do something. I mean, call him a shield crutch all you want. He's been pretty good at it, and this map has benefited him well. I've heard those massive shield allegations, but I mean, he seems to find success pretty consistently, so. I mean, I haven't seen him a lot in roller, but I also think that might just be because there's like way more money in not playing roller. Boosting accounts is kind of pretty profitable for him, so I'd have to assume that's more worth it. Ugh. I cannot handle it. I'm still kind of sick, as my voice can somewhat tell. WAF does find something Zodish with another on the slam. Maybe, finally, the team has their chance to win it out. Their team has a chance to make it to the finals, and after maybe a bit of a rocky map, too, they could bring it back. One more WAF. Now just down to 2 people. Make that 1, and now you finally have yourselves a match point for Masumi 2's team. Flawless round 2. Huh. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, I got now. Like, that works? Really? I didn't realize those low-key worked. I mean, you know what? Go do it ahead. I don't even know if I lose money or make money. It's just like I can't run any lower. It was a long road to get here. They lost map 2 pretty badly, so you know, coming back to what is kind of what you know expected for him. You know, I think it's what they needed. They needed that return to grace.
as many bombs as they can.
Let's see here. Start poll. Let's see what I get. Should I cast finals is a real question, because honestly, I am tired as hell. So, you know. Yeah, there we go. I don't lose anything. Alright, I mean, you know what? Go ahead. Don't even, like, low-key, do it. You know what? It's fine. Like, low-key, keep that shit on. I am no man to hate. Shit, I would do the same thing if I had one that worked. At least a first shot. Terrorist. Okay, so you will actually die to a Twitch now. Why are you peeking this kid? Don't peek! You will literally die to a pistol. Oh, well, never mind. Apparently there's still a plan in place. It's a 5v1. What are we doing? What is going on at this point? There's gotta be some tomfoolery. Oh my god, he's actually repelling there. So, this is your lesson of the day. I didn't have to think of ever say this. Don't repel here. 1, 2, what's the thinking there? I don't know. Bro, I just like... I don't know. I'm like, I'm considering is what I'd say. Screw it, I'll cast finals. If there's enough and I'll get Layla to announce it, sure. Why not? If you want finals casted, I don't... Why not? Oh my god. I got some casting finals. I'm getting financially bribed. Pretty accurate way to do it, though.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
Sure, I suppose it's still September. Low-key, what if I... We'll see. There's no way. Okay, so apparently, I'm not even the one with I'm not even the one with the, like, the shortest delay, but I'm the one getting watched, so... I guess y'all want that third-person view, maybe. I'm not complaining. I'll take... Apparently, the both teams decide to swipe their way into the stream. So, you know what? Good for them. We'll work with it. Ow, ow, ow. Let's see what I can do. Now they 4-6. And also, I really gotta find some coffee or something to not die on for 45 seconds. Or what'll probably be an hour long. Alright. See, bribery is an amazing way to get me to do something. I will cast damn near any game if you have the money up front. Hell, I've casted for teams for money up front. I've been told not to cast for money up front. Is that crazy? Maybe, but like... You know, you're gonna make your bag. And also, it's partially because I was just like, I don't want to do it. I like how you sub before you followed. That's gotta be the most random form of events. Let's sub before the follow is kind of hilarious, though. Honestly, I enjoy it. You know, just, yeah, I'll give you my money. Don't worry about the free part, though. That's just too poor for me. Peasantry? Of course, no, I could never follow. Nah, it's funny as hell, though. I enjoy it. A little bit of fun stuff in there. Now with Jugo at least finding one. Now you got to be perfect. WAF is going to find one. Taken right back out by Blade. Left themselves in a 4v3 with an option to maybe go crazy. Jugo with one more. Shotgun could always be that big thing to have happen. Zodish is going to look for the Solus, and he finds it, making a 1v3. 1v2, though. Blade with just a little bit more left in him. Now you're trying to go down for the diffuser here. This will probably be the more hard thing to do, with the diffuser being a little bit out of place. Always that chance of hope. Always that little slim idea you can maybe get one more round and we can take this to maybe just an overtime. But the perfection you got to play tonight has got to be perfect. This round has to be an actual masterclass, because your options are even more limited. That is always going to be the issue. Now with just 50 seconds left, the options go slimmer. You're looking for that pick, but you know it's not going to be given easy. You're going to have to swing aggressive. You're going to have to risk it. Jugo leaves as maybe he's trusting a team. Maybe his blind doesn't care. You got to play it right, but one pick found by Blade. Maybe it's possible. With 33 seconds left, maybe there's a true chance you have it. Now down to just Blade, Grandpa, TTV. All of it relied on one round of just playing it right, playing your numbers right, playing how it should. For the play behind, it was perfection from Grandpa. He waited, he lurked, and he'll find themselves finally in the grand finals against Glybo. And we will be back in 5 or 10 minutes with a new game. And you know what? Because I'm bored and because there's been 3 different pause breaks, or like 4 different pause breaks today, I'll be fancy and I'll put up a pause break with a podcast from Charlie Worley. Don't even question it. I was a very tired person. But I was also really bored, so you know what? Have fun, and I'll see y'all back in like 10 minutes. This is a special little recording for Grand Finals. We have... Oh, I suppose you want to introduce yourself?
The big squirt.
Alright, dude. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that this is certainly the best time to do one. Is not even in, what, 6 hours? We're going to have ourselves a full BO5. Against probably the strongest team.
Because we're gonna 3-0 sweep them. It doesn't matter.
You think you're going to 3-0 sweep?
Yep.
Okay, let's go through some of the basics. The team that is, at least on the side of 907, they haven't lost a map once in recent timing. They've lost maybe one map in the past 4 months in League. What's your plan to really try to beat them here?
You know, just to stick to our game plan and just beat them. I mean, we're not scared. They're a beatable team, and it's just that simple. Any team's beatable, and we're just gonna beat them. I believe we're better than them, so.
Now, I think this one is certainly a bit of a more odd question that'll be covered more in the grand finals when I start doing notes, but you picked defense, or attack first, for all of your maps. It's a bit of an oddity. Why?
We just feel more comfortable on attack and have more strats on attack, and we're usually better at attacking both of those maps, so I just picked it.
I mean, I respect the, I guess, uniqueness there, but I got a question. You know, that might be a really bad move, giving a team that's so good on the roam, like 907, a chance to get ready and warmed up on the roam. I don't know. Who do you think is the biggest player to worry about right now on that whole team?
It's a team-based game. I'm not really worried about one person, but I'd probably have to say like Vux or something like that. I mean, Winda probably.
Fair enough.
Or Quacks, most likely. Quacks.
Who do you think is the most overrated player on both teams? So I'm gonna have to have you rat on one of your own guys.
I'm not answering my team. Hell no.
Fine. Then.
Probably Vux. Probably.
Really? The Madman on entry is the overrated one. Okay, I respect it. Then let's just go through some of the maps. What you're gonna be doing. NHL. You're gonna have there's gonna be 907 defense first, 5-0 on the map. Anything different really, or what? Are you gonna change the game plan? Change how you generally play, or are you just gonna run the same old, and try to beat them in the defaults?
Same old. Just you gotta beat them in the most important gunfights, you just can't give up first pick, and I feel like we can win dominantly. Our attacks on NHL are really good, so I'm not really worried.
Do you think there's one player on your team that's gonna show out more, maybe, than I think what is expected?
Probably ITQC.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Or not.
He's the ITQC is underrated as hell. He flexes around. He's a relatively good roamer. Got it all. Out of all of, you know, Roller Rivals, SSL Finals, I don't know what else you've been to. What is the most nerve-wracking playing?
Like, the most nervous I've ever been in a game, or like...
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's probably when I 1v1 stomping. But, like, in a 5v5 format, I don't really get nervous. I don't remember the last time I've been nervous in a 5v5.
Let's say, hypothetical with me, if you win this, well, let's not say dominantly, but if you win this, you know, 3-2, nail-biter game, what's next for that team? Are you going to stay with 6-7?
I'm gonna stay with, like, the 6-7 team. The team is pretty much just, like, getting better, like, 4-man, like, 4 more people on the 10th man, and just leaving sprays, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a decision that no one is surprised about. He's had his significant issues playing that high-level support, but I don't know. I think it's exciting to see, you know, if Knock can step up into that bigger role.
Finna see me shoot and still walk up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dry ass start today. What do you think is your strongest point as a team? Just one singular thing.
It's hard. I feel like just not like mental chalking, you know, no matter what we don't mental chalk, and then we just carry on and win rounds.
What would you guys say is your strongest map then?
Nighthaven or Charlotte?
Those would be two very interesting games. Is 5-0 for 907 on Nighthaven is a very, very hard wall to climb. They've beaten every single major team you could think of. They beat Wolves in the semis, Voltage in the quarters. Or, excuse me, that was y'all. Chalet, they actually don't play a bunch. They play a shit ton of Roller Rivals, but never in League. But Nighthaven, Armani in the semis, Dynasty in the quarters, Wolves. They haven't lost once, and most of them haven't even been close. It's crazy to think that even if you get overtime, if you don't win a map, if you just get overtime against the team, that's officially the greatest anyone else has ever done in SSL.
Shitty ass aim. Holy shit.
What do you think is 907's strongest point you guys got to worry about every time?
I feel like just their what is it called? Just they know how to play together.
Fair enough.
And yeah, it's pretty much that's what it is, you know. They know how to play together. They have chem, and they just play together. But they're beatable, and just know we're gonna beat them.
Do you think we're gonna see any records broken today for BL5 kill record? You know,
yes.
Single map. Who?
Hopefully. I feel like I'm gonna drop more than I think I'm gonna drop Bwenda's kill record.
27
Hopefully.
kills. That'd be. I mean, there's infinite overtime, so it's certainly possible, but that'd be a generational play. To be entirely fair. You hear about the new competitive series yet that Ubi just kind of sort of announced, like yesterday?
No, I haven't.
2.6 thousand console and PC combined, sort of like ladder. It'll be fun, I think. It'll
Cool.
I don't know. We'll see.
I
But
just woke up. I did not hear about that.
it came out late last night, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But what do you think is the strongest player in all of console right now? Obviously, Stompin's gone, so who do you think's
console?
Yeah, who do you think's filled
Probably
that gap?
Glybo or me.
You think you're the best player in console?
It's me or Glybo, yeah.
It's a high bar. Do you think that anyone will ever go pro and have as or even relative success to what Stompin did?
I mean, I feel like the only person is Kaysen. I mean,
He's still in the
No
T3
one.
trenches nowadays.
Center went pro. He's in T2
Make
or
your way
like
to its
high
I
T3.
mean-
I don't know.
I feel like Kaysen is just like, he's like a stomping. They're just good at every game they touch and they dominate, so yeah. I feel like it's gonna be Kaysen when he turns 18.
That's fair. He's kind of just waiting for that moment. I mean, he's been on a high amount of T3 rosters now. I think it's he's been kind of team swapping occasionally just to, you know, get used to more of it. Do you think you're ever gonna
Yeah.
try to go pro, PC?
Probably not, honestly. I don't really have any, like, care in the world to go to PC and just grind out keyboard.
What's the long
I
term
have,
then
like-
for Siege? You just hope to, you know, play it when you're young and then kind of just get off forever, or?
I'll probably play it until it dies, where I get, like, really bored of it. Because this game isn't gonna last forever and it's probably gonna die soon.
What, do you think you'll
That's
ever
true.
make a long-term return to streaming at all, or do you think it's you're done with that? You ain't doing all
I
that?
probably will. I probably will with Squirtle. But, you know, I don't know.
Who do you think then is the strongest player in league? Do you think it's you single-handedly? No one else touches?
Yes.
I think you have a lot of competition. I think for that top spot nowadays. Raid's kind of washed, but he's coming into league again. Maybe. Iowa. A couple of guys are coming into league on teams. I don't know. I think the competition might be a little bit closer than you think.
No, I'm the best in the world.
You're the world champion. You're the best out of all console players. The mini stomping.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I beat Stompin', so.
Win some fives then, little bro. Those roller rivals are looking pretty thin.
Not my fault.
Not your fault they're looking thin. You wanna tell me why?
Nope.
Not your fault they're looking thin, but they are thin. You ever thought about stacking with like the big teams? Maybe not. Maybe some Richie, Raid,
I
Buddha.
was trying to build chem with my team. I don't really care whatsoever about getting like a god team. I've just been playing with my boys. What's on my league team? Trying to win.
I mean, I respect it to some degree. What do you think is the best future for League? Like, let's say everything goes right. How does it end for console League?
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, prize pool, and then I don't really know. I've just been entering in League soon, so yeah, I'm probably not the guy to answer that. Just have really no idea about what. I just play League and chat.
I mean, yeah, I can't blame you. Sometimes it can be, I don't know. Yeah, I very consistently look too, I overthink it, but sometimes it's just about playing. I get that.
Yeah.
You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location.
What's your favorite op? Besides Legion Shotgun, we're not hearing none of that today.
Not shotgun. Not.
All right, dude. Get off the Legion Shotgun, bro. Yeah, the allegations are just crazy at this point.
Probably Ash or Goya. If I.
That would keep us great, so. Not Ash. Well, actually, I play a shit ton of Ash. I mean, you are the entry, so I'm not like shit talking, but like you genuinely play, I think, like the second most Ash globally for League. You might actually be an Ash man.
Yeah, I get a drone on my feet. Obviously, I'm gonna be on Ash. I'm the best player in the world, also. I can play Ash.
Do you think that, like, where do you want to, like, if you want to be considered the console GOAT, what do you think you have to do? Like, on the level of stomping, on the level of, like, you know, those
Win
top players.
MVP, win the league, and then go to Rival Roller and just start dominating like I've been doing, but actually win. And you start winning a bunch. I mean, yeah, pretty much what I gotta do.
Do you think if
Start
you win
winning a
one
lot.
Sunday, you'll at least be in the conversation? Or no? What do you think you have to do?
Nah, I'm gonna have to win a lot. There's people who just grind out Sundays and have won like 30 now. I have to win like pretty much every week for like a while.
Alright, I mean, yeah, I can't really hate. There's a lot of grinding that is involved with getting to that top level. And yeah, I think you're going to try to take, the team right now, Redemption or 6-7 to the top. That's your plan to take it to the top.
Yep.
I respect it. You don't usually see that. But out of all people, the 15, 14, whatever your age
14,
is.
14.
Yeah, still youngin' over here. To be fair,
I'm like a
pretty
boomer.
I'm pretty sure if you win today, you'd be the youngest championship winner for SSL by quite a big margin. I think the other youngest was like 16. Like, you're by far up there. So, do you think that matters at all, or do you think that's just an arbitrary number?
It's just an arbitrary number. At the end of the day, I just play the game. Age doesn't matter when it comes to skill. I just play every day. And yeah.
Do you think that we'll ever see someone get to like the level of domination that Stompin had at one point, where he was winning literally everything?
Probably me. Realistically.
Who's the second place to you then?
Just like the second player probably come up to Stompin.
Yeah, who's the second place to you then if you're the best?
Probably no one, I can't lie.
You got no one up there. Mingo,
No, I mean-
Skype. None of
Yeah,
them?
don't even say Skype name to Stompin. That's like disrespectful.
Hey, when Stompin's gotten that, bro, the gap is kind of big if there's a vacuum.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like no one like Stompin, I can't lie.
Who's the best
Really?
IGL on console in your opinion? Not on your team.
Um,
Don't hold that
Tac-
shit.
probably center, I can't lie. When he was on console still,
That's what
he
I'm
was probably the best idea.
He was up there, yeah, he was. He low-key got me into comp. He didn't even do anything comp-wise, it was just like... I like how he plays. Yeah, we just don't look at my actual Siege gameplay anymore. I'm actually washed. We don't even look at the rank gameplay. I add a recoil to the T5 at this point, like, maybe we do got chocolate.
10 seconds.
Oh, hell no.
What is
Seconds and counting.
the craziest, like, the peak of League for you? Was there any, like, win or anything that mattered the most, or no? Do you think they're all equally meh?
Probably the most recent one. We lost the first map because, not to point names, I had a teammate go 3-10, and then
Spray!
we came back and then won. Yeah. And then probably me dropping the 20 bomb against 619, even though they're like pretty much a bad team. But yeah.
And do you think that today, in the entry battles for Grand Finals, that it's gonna be close between you and
Nope. I'm
Vox?
gonna
You
fight
think-
them.
Yeah, you think you're gonna dominate the entries?
Yep.
Respect the aggression, or respect the plan to just wipe them? Do you think that... How many roller Sundays do you think you have to win before you'd be considered like on that level of like the top players? Or just roller in general, those like roller days?
Probably like a good like 15 to 20 because a lot of those guys have like 20 wins and like 30 wins. So I'd probably have to win like 20. Which is kind of crazy to say, but yeah. Some of those kids have like 40.
Who do you think's the best support player?
Tactical UAV.
Not on your team. So that would stop on this team stuff. I don't want no bias.
Recently, I probably have to say Baby Gronk. Probably, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, we don't... I'm gonna get roasted in the pod for the aim. Holy fuck. I just mag whiffed on the T5. Shut up. Just shut up. Moment of silence. Oh my god, I'm in unranked, and you can tell it's unranked. There's just like that level of stupidity.
Operator remaining.
Right.
I have a whole 2 and 4 right now. You can't match me, bro. Best to ever do it.
4 and unranked.
Best to ever do it, bro. Best to ever do it. You don't stand on me.
Right.
Listen, you gotta get up to those like roller Saturday Sundays. I'm hopefully gonna start casting those in a couple of weeks if I can grind well enough. So
Yeah, I'm working on it.
don't matter no more
It's
because
gonna be there soon.
If Sino can barely pull in 10 viewers when he's casting Roller Sunday, I'm pulling in like 6.5 max. I'm getting a half person somehow. But yeah, Chalka. I gotta get you like co-host. Co-host an entire Roller Sunday is crazy. It'd be entertaining, though, honestly. I'd like that.
I'll just roast everyone if I co-hosted.
Co-hosting means you gotta cast some genius. You can't just go shit talk. Well, within reason. Within reason. Within reason. Hey, I should
Really
talk too.
boring.
If you watch the VODs, you know I should talk. I'm good at it.
Yeah, surprising coming from you too.
Shut up. What do you mean when it's surprising coming from me? Half of what I do is shit talk. It's only half of what I do. I genuinely beat on Runner for an entire BO3.
I mean, you're like
Who is
really
the
bad, so.
most toxic experience you've had with like some of the top players? Like name one.
Raid bullies.
That's okay, yeah, so that seems the consistency. Name like a second place then, because I feel like he's always up there.
Richie or
Okay,
Iowa.
Third. Really? Iowa? He's chill as hell. At least in the VC, he was with me.
You've never played that guy in a finals at 3 in the
Fuck
morning.
no. Who do you think is the most chill league player not on your team? I don't want to hear any league guy shit.
The league player?
Yeah, like if you had to pick one dude up, just as like a chill, like he gives you the comms, he ain't crazy about it, who would you pick?
It's probably hard. Like, do I have to know the person? I mean,
Not really. I mean, just like that guy that like he's reliable. You know what I mean, he's gonna drop you good kills. He's a nice to talk to, hype man maybe.
honestly, can't name it because I feel like I have all the chill players on my team. Like, that I play with.
Cody is not chill, bro. That man did a maniacal
Yeah.
Discord mod laugh over
We're talking
fucking.
about like ITQC and tactically.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably the chillest people I know, and then the other people I know that play League are like mentally insane.
Now, what is your opinion? Let's go through some of the top players and like most known. If you've been
I'm
talking,
gonna sound schizophrenic to the crowd. So they're gonna hear me, but not y'all. Just. They have 6 now because of you. Dun, 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 dun.
Fucking hell, bro. My fucking ears hurt, dude. Look how red they are, bro. Fuck.
Huh.
That's my headset hurting today.
Why is my mic stand just like creaking? What is with? I mean, isn't Adexi like actually good at Siege though? Like, somewhat. No, Adexi. Yeah, he actually got a job, so he turned the wash.
Alrighty, chat. I haven't had a win in 2 months. They got like brain dead masters, bro. This is gonna be so AIDS. Okay, why is my screen not working? Hello? Oh, I gotta do this. Yo, the screen's gonna be paused for a second. Give me a second. That should make it work.
Ooh, DeJevin! Oh, he's not on. I was all excited.
And then go like this.
DeJevin's like my underrated king. Is that crazy? No,
There
no,
we
it
go.
isn't.
Now we're working.
Is it crazy to say that Matsumitsu is the best booster of all time? I mean, I generally I would hate, but like the level of like ridiculous, not even ridiculous, the level of like expertise to be that absurdly good at boosting is kind of impressive. Monker, really? I mean, I know he boosts occasionally. Hold on. Yeah. I'm not. Is that actually how much it costs? Generally? I don't know rates. Oh. Ah. Who did what? Huh? Hey! Yo. It's kind of crazy thing that me and him are like 2 years apart. Shock it. Oh. That's crazy. Yo! Our game's gonna start! 12 years later. Yippee! Okay, now you're feeding into it. Chalk it. 2 viewers in grand finals. We might be cooked. Yeah, the three guys gonna do it. Wild. How did I get more viewers for raid Matsumitsu or for a raid Glybo forfeit? I feel I'm gonna regret whatever, screw it. God no. I don't think he'd be willing to do it. Yeah, you're already forced into this. What? Real bro, you're gonna hit him with the you're gonna hit him with the Ray Lewis tackle. Just gonna die on the ground. Okay, bingo bongo bogo, y'all gotta go. Bro, aren't you like you're like a decade younger than half of us, dude?
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
All right. Toronto, we have ourselves a game that might have questionable stability, but you know what? You have Matsumitsu, you have Jugo. You have a game with actual players that exist and are real people. Screw it. You want me to spectate? I feel I'm gonna regret this significant into the R4 Sea Lords. So they're either gonna drop like a triple combined, or they're gonna do absolutely nothing, and it's gonna be hilarious. Bitch, this is. I need to take away the hydrate goal. I swear to God, I've gotten 72 hydrates in 2 days. I've had like 300 ounces of water. This cannot be healthy. I've peed like 7 times a day.
attackers are moving.
At some point, this is gonna get concerning. Hold up. Now I gotta get. No, I'll get water in the mid rounds. I don't care. I enjoy life. Screw y'all. However, I will, in fact, spectate Salsino and Jeffrey's pencil for my $2.58 or 87 cents. Excuse me, pre-tax. Because yes, that is what I get on a sub. Bits are not any better. Well, they're slightly better. Not really by a lot. They're also kind of a pain because, like, it's bits. Let's be honest. I don't think anyone says yay bits. Ooh, Glybo! Yeah, it's Glybo, by the way. It's not Glybo, it's Glybo. That's my new name for him. Right. Jeffrey's pencil does at least get the wall. What? Did he whiff? Kind of whiffed. That's a little unfortunate. I don't know about that one. Well, that's maybe going to be a little more questionable. Oh. To get your way in there, as your options are a little more limited now that wall is not really guaranteed. I saw no. I see no man. Okay, that wasn't even racist. He walked into that one. At least one pick found, but traded out by Jugo. Seems that these trades are going to be pretty consistent here tonight, as I don't think either side is really going to find him any pick consistent for that matter. And a beautiful shot from the below. You can't do much better than that with Grandpa taking out Salsino. Now with both of those players dead, let's go around and look around the league. You do have Glybo obviously trying to make a move, but the problem is that how you get rid of him, like how you get rid of Matsumitsu, is a little bit more questionable at best. I don't think there's really a great way to deal with either of them. You're kind of just going to have to run around and wait for your moment, but you're still going to find one if you're Ghost. Glybo still is going to at least try to find something, but down Ghost goes. Options go limited. The issue is that what you can really do in this situation is more limited because Matsumitsu can hold you so well. The swing out to find the pick, so important. You find it eventually, but prequel trades. Another hydrate. What is with these hydrates? This is actually it's caught on and it's concerning. Great. Now I gotta go grab water after this. Their down goes into our Gatorade bottle. I don't even have enough water to do this. Never mind. My McDonald's soda cup is now going to taste like McDonald's water soda. Chalk it. All right, with Grandpa and Matsumitsu left, there's still a little chance, especially with Glybo here. Should be a banger last 20 seconds. That's all going to be about these fine details. It's all going to be about how Prequel can make that move. He's going to find the damage. He's going to find the pick. Glybo somehow finds it despite the shield. And I don't even get a seat. That's so cool. Whatever. I gotta go now grab water because these guys can't stop redeeming damn hydrates. I'm back now with more water than you could ever believe. Did you seriously? Okay, what, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, yeah, we're still the same number. I thought there was more hydrates. I would have lost it. All right. Down goes one. This counts for 3, 4. Ugh. You can taste the soda residue. It's miserable. Ugh. Oh my god. That tastes like ass, but at least I got through it. That's the medium one down. Ugh, 2 down. That's all the hydrates. Oh my god. Don't drink out of a... Oh my god, it tastes so bad. I can taste the soda residue and it tastes miserable. It tastes like a hot ass. Hey, but Zodish is back. That is not fun. Now, where is that man? There. No more hydrates for y'all. At least for a little bit.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Now with Zodish, Matsumitsu, and Evil Grandpa, I'm not going to say that any round is really out of the question because this is kind of one of the more stacked rosters we'll see in a pretty long time for a Friday. But don't look at the other side and think nothing. Glybo still has his value. Ghost can be a very good player. And somehow all of these players don't hate me. Glybo doesn't really care about me. He's just like a whatever. He's too nonchalant for me. I'm a little too small for his, you know, larger than life vibes. Being the best player on console doesn't mean you gotta act nonchalant occasionally, so I'm pretty much just, I'm the, side character. Damn. But everyone else here is pretty cool with me. Jugo doesn't really care. Matsumitsu and me and him at least know each other. to some degree from a couple of past run-ins. Ghost is cool with me. Prequel, I know him from some other stuff. Overall, you know, I know my guys. We'll see, though. Maybe there's a chance here for Glybo to pick up what feels like another win for the man. Is he's one of the very few top console players that still plays console League. Yes, that exists. That's a real thing. It's not a legend from back when Bogo ran Jaeger League. They do exist. To what degree? That's more argued. But they do exist, so I guess it's worth something. Maybe there's just a slight chance. They come out with it. They can make a move. And you're going to be limited more accurately to whatever you can do with these ashes here, which should be enough to get rid of at least one of these walls. I don't see a great way to really trick that. Is it can be pretty well shot down. Maybe we'll play on the wall here. The aggressive play from both sides is everyone swinging the verticality. I don't think I've ever seen a verticality play so crazy, and Zodish will probably be able to trick this too. Nope, I guess not. Just barely off in terms of what probably would be less than a half a second, but that half a second is going to count for so much more, is also count for a pretty large portion of your death. All about those small moments, those picture-perfect frames, but wasn't enough for him, and Prequel's going to find it. Get one more pick. C4, sadly not going to go anywhere. Never mind, though. Matsumitsu gets it, just barely getting Glybo. Now sitting below, Matsumitsu might be able to find one more if he can sit in the corner and dodge a drone. Any drone on him is really going to give away his position and kind of make it hard to even really expect anyone to come in, but you never know. Yazami should also create a bit of a good barricade here to stop. But Ray might be able to find something if we do see Matsumitsu run his way up. Grandpa, though, in sight, is finding a lot of issues as Ghost is going to make his move in. The aggression feels like it's only going to get harder and harder, but Jugo finds Ghost. Another one, beautiful shot on a Prequel, but the issue is it's a 1v1 with Matsumitsu below. The options are limited, but still very winnable here. Jeffrey Spencel might not know it. All about that small moment. All about that half chance you see him just in time. You can't miss a shot here. Is he up to pull out the shotgun? Well, maybe not. I think the options are kind of whatever he chooses. He swings in, but he waited too long. This might give him a chance as Matsumitsu just waits for his moment. Waits, finds, and absolutely executes a pretty perfect play. Knew those flashes were coming, prone down, did what he could to try to dodge any fire, and right after, came right back. That is what you want to see. Also, for some of you that are having bitrate issues, for once it is not on me. We're at a solid 7,000 bitrate with a 59.971 FPS. You can't run 60. Don't ask. It's just like that. Yeah, you'll see. It's one of those weird things where... Huh. I have, like, the most absurd amount of mods. I have Restream Bot, which makes sense. I have Shady, which honestly doesn't make sense. And not that I don't hate the dude, but, like... One, I just don't really have him on anymore. And also, I just don't really see him as that important to my stream most of the time.
Attackers need to locate
You know, he runs the league I work in, but that doesn't really have anything to do with me. Most of the film, the time, and just a little bit of the void that can happen between these rounds is it can get a little boring if you don't know what you're really doing. All right, let's see what we can find here in these numbers, though. Questionable work overall, but so far you can certainly see the one man, I think, taking a pretty very large group ahead of the pack. And it's not Prequel. I said Matsumitsu is really the most important piece here, as Prequel has had his moments, don't get me wrong. It's been really great for him, but I think that the ability and the actual utility that we generally have seen from Matsumitsu is at a higher level. The pulse matters more for comms. It brings a much bigger threat than what is generally played by Prequel, which is that flank watch. It's important, yes, but anyone can play it and anyone can frag out, is the difference in my opinion. And it can show at times. Also, a very different strategy here from the side of Matsumitsu's team. They have to sort of put footholds into the main wall as a bit of more of a threat. Don't want to really go too close and maybe risk it, so you gotta opt to not to, or have a very, very well done cross. Also, they at least know where the vigil is. convenient timing for him. Beautiful shot from Waff on a Prequel. Now he knows there's multiple around him. He's either gonna have to play it perfect or he's gonna have to retreat, as the actual aggression could come in at any moment. Reference to a famous phrase, Ash is at the gates, and she could very well be the entirety of the issue, all depending on how well these swings end out. But Glybo is going to find Zodish. That's at least one of the major problems down. Then Rome maybe gets a little bit easier to clear. But don't count on Waff. He can always come behind, always make his presence known at any real important moment. That could always be the main issue for this team if they don't play it right. We know how strong the ability to hold verticality and flank or behind is. We know how much that can change around within just 15 seconds. How much one pick like that can be such a big deal. And that's always something to look at, is how is that going to change? Ugh. Actually, a very, very good nade and plan from Glybo, though, that will get them that deployable shield and make it a little bit easier. But Waff from behind does find at least one here. Traded back by Celcino, as he's at least going to find Grandpa. All of them are finding these picks. They're trying to find those isolations and get maybe just a little bit more of a chance on the round, but it's not going to come easy to any degree. And actually, a plan is looking ever more likely. It's down more accurate to the way the echoes are placed, so look out for those. But there's not a small chance that it can happen. However, a Kapkan will find its value post-death, as sometimes even the smallest things to check for can be a pretty large nuisance. Simply just because we don't really think as, if you're a top player, there would never be a Kapkan there. I'd know. But sometimes you don't. That can always cost you. In this case, it did cost your life and the advantage, which is going to be a pretty large thing to lose. Glybo is going to try to wrap his way around. Oh, don't know what happened to him. And well, Glybo can certainly, I think, make a move here, but the issue is always going to be time, and it always would have been time. No matter how you try to play it and pursue it, there's always going to be the issues. Glybo at least finds one, but once again, with 10 seconds left, your options are dimming. You don't have a lot of time to do much of anything here. You have to run in, you have to get aggressive, but staying in the corner is going to work perfectly. Grandpa finds 2 off of the Kapkans. Talk about 100% efficacy. Absurd. But I suppose find your value. Find it pretty damn well with those Kapkans. You gotta know he's feeling just fine after running that. Ad break in 9 minutes. So y'all will probably get this when it's closer to 8:30. No, 7:30. What else can we find here, and what could be? I will say this has felt like certainly one of the more weird games to get going, but I am not saying this won't go good. I'm simply saying this game has started off to a very odd start, I think, in terms of how it plays. And that's not really a hate on any of these players, it's just how I think this is going to feel. Sometimes when all these top players mesh, it's going to look weird. You're going to see Jugo, I think, have a good group at times. You're going to see Matsumitsu come up. You're going to see all of these players have their moments and still have reasonable downfalls, I think. Not because they're bad, but because this is an absurdly stacked roster of players in a finals that isn't even generally considered good. And that is the difference here. The difference is that you have, for once, a good finals. You have a consistent team. You have rosters that look strong. As much as people shut on Matsumitsu for boosting, he's still an amazing player in his own right. Jugo has provided value pretty consistently in BOGO 4s, in Console PCs. He's always been a top player to at least have on a team. Is he going to be your superstar all the time? No. But he's still going to be that perfect number 2 option. And in this case, where you have so many good number 2 options, I think it makes up for a committee effort. Grandpa, who can certainly provide his value. We've seen it at times. He can pull his weight and he can pull it damn well. So it's going to be down to, I think, him to just really lock in and stay committed. He can't afford to chalk in a pretty hard game by itself. I think this game on the side of Glybo's team is a little bit more. Glybo is there. Ghost is also there. Prepquel's not bad. I've cast him before in previous leagues and previous events. I've seen Ghost. I know how they play, but they will not change the outcome of this game. They will elevate it. If this game is going to end the way of Glybo's team, he's going to have to do it, not Ghost. And that is the difference, I think. That is the difference between these teams, is one player can afford to not pop off. If Matsumitsu struggles, Grandpa and Jugo can pick up the weight. If, you know, Jugo can't figure it out maybe in the second half, it can be fixed. Also, I'm not playing Among Us in the middle of a finals cast. There's no way I'm getting asked this. Y'all know what I'm doing. I literally said, all right, bro. Like, go complain to Bogo. He's the one that announced it. But, and the other one, Salsino, is going to find himself that first, right? Yes, first pick, I think. Tweaking. Bit of a whiff C4 there from Jugo. And a nade, actually. Pretty amazing start there as Glybo played it pretty perfectly to isolate that pick, and a beautiful end. Can't play much better than that. I think that was played pretty perfectly. They just played their isolations right, and they held that verticality perfectly. They saw what the issue was. They saw that they were maybe a little bit too bunched up. They took the flashes. They took the down. They played it just right with the nade. I think there was maybe a bit of a crappy play there from Matsumitsu to get so aggressive, but at the end of the day, I think it's more of Glybo's team to capitalize so much than anything else. That is always to look for. We'll see. I don't know, because I realistically view it as
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
we wait for the prep phase once again. I want to, because maybe I will be able to, but I will never be able to cast as much as I can right now. In between now and senior year summer break, that is when I will cast the most. That is when I have the most chance to do 95% of my career. If I do good, maybe I can go somewhere with it. Maybe I can go a little bit off, and maybe there's a chance I can do something big collegiate. If I suck, suddenly I'm not really... This is a forgotten period of my life. So you know what?
10 seconds.
Maybe I guess that's my motivation. You fail, and then you're suddenly... Your era is done.
Bomb located by
No more caster cards. Probably no more cards for that fact of matter. Which can be debated, and that's even really worth it, but... Who cares? Have fun in life. I think the bigger question is, what if I'm going to be casting Siege in a year? I've gotten places and spots in other esports, and let's be honest, Siege isn't really doing the best right now. Ubisoft doesn't care for the most part. They don't care if most of their creators leave or stay. They didn't care if Jinxie did it, for God's sakes. I don't think they're going to care if anyone else does. It's a real question if they're going to be able to hold. Is this game old? Being held together by ribbons and prayer because this game is about as addicting as it gets. But eventually that might end. I'm already seeing some players either move away or go to PC, so we'll see. I always think there's certainly, at least from what I know, an influence on people that'll change the space. A couple of people that are willing to sponsor without really any benefit to them. I mean, enjoyment, obviously, but I don't think console ever fully dies simply for the fact that there's still people that have money that are willing to spend it. That is how I view it. Maybe a little bit wild of a view, but we'll see. Now you're left down to what could be maybe a better spot, but Watt finds something. Glybo, Ghost, all go down. Jeffy at least finds some semblance of a salvage, but it won't matter. It was played perfectly from that very beginning. It feels these rounds are so lopsided at times, and both teams feel like they're going and trading blows pretty consistently, not because one is bad, but because the other is simply just exceeding expectations. But maybe Jeffrey's pencil. Jeffrey can find just a little bit more miracle dust in this round. Pull together another miracle run. Fight off Grandpa. They've already gotten rid of, you know, one player. One player is already below. The issue will never be him, though. It's always going to be, can you win this fight against Grandpa? One of the harder fights to win, as you have to fight the 2v1 here. Your options aren't really available. You're running off of nothing, but you're still going to find one pick. Jeffrey's going to at least make it close if he's going to win this one. Even if it's a loss, it's a damn near valiant one. Down to just Jugo here as he's left in the 1v1. What could have been a dominant win, but instead Jeffrey beautifully played. That's a 4v1. Or excuse me, 4 kills, 3v1. The most dominant thing you could even do here is pull it back. Keep going on. Give our team that last little bit of hope as we got ourselves a game, folks. That is what is going to interest anyone most in this game. This game still has that fight. Both teams still have, you know, real chance to win it. Hear me out. If you are not blasting some music while doing anything at all in casting, what are you doing with your life? Shit. I'm pretty sure everyone has done at least the more casual casts like this. Kidding me? I blast an Uzi the entire time. You pray there is currently an unbelievable amount of noise suppression on my voice because my ass is shaking right now from bass. Actually, that's about true too. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how it picks this up because it's still technically a voice, but like, I don't question it. And now we're wrong. Now we're going to leaked Frank Ocean or
5 seconds to go.
Can't Hold Me Down, the song with the weirdest feature list. It had who was it? It was Doodles, Yachty, Pharrell Williams, Lil Wayne, and like I don't even know who else. It's a wild song. Doodles is like one of the most random, like I guess technically crypto projects and like record labels in one weird mishmash, but like that feature list is so peak. You gotta make music simply because like if you can get Pharrell Williams to produce music for a label specifically for you, oh, I knew Salsino was gonna find Jugo finally after what was a bit of a slow start. Certainly not for him though, as he's been relatively good. I think his entries could certainly use some work, but he saved a round. This entire group, I think, is having their moments, and this is what makes it so entertaining, but Zodish is going to find him. At least bring it back to a 4v4. Get rid of that real entry that they did have. Back to those even numbers that they prefer. Glybo, the one with really a big aggression here. You know where he's going to come from. It's just, can you deal with him? Grandpa's going to be found, leaving it even more close. So now Glybo's going to have to go much bigger. And I think that's the issue, is that this team feels sometimes so dependent on star players. You've got to try to bring back a gap that is already, feels nearly impossible to even think of getting towards. Problem, I think, is that Ghost isn't even really near the site. Or he's near the site, but he isn't even near the diffuser. Or he's other players. Which just, I don't know what to look for, but Matsumitsu has a supernova in hand, and this one's probably over, as Ebo might be a miracle worker of his own, but Zodish hits a beautiful shot. Black enemy. Is it? I find it hilarious that some of the best card is unironically either leaked or unreleased, or leaked or like just not made. Able control. Not really, but I also don't watch him a bunch, so you know, could it be true? Could it just like that? I mean, maybe. Oh, I guess welcome to the stream. I don't really know how if I welcome that or say don't do this. Zodish. I don't know. We're just gonna leave that as a neutral. We're at least gonna see the bands be pretty basic with the all electricity and then a shield in default mix. This is about as basic as it gets. Like white girls, but instead of having a pumpkin spice latte, they're gonna have like a cold brew with like espresso. It's slightly different. So, you know.
See it as you will. Bro. You know, I could, but like... Yeah, if you didn't say this at midnight, I probably would. But hell no. After this, I'm gonna send my ass to bed, bro. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the love of the game. By the fact that I'm doing a Roller Rivals final at midnight. Spend that money somewhere else, man. Get some DoorDash or something. Get some, like, fun little meal. Should make some, I don't know. Unironically, I mean, I'm not gonna stop anyone from subbing, but, like, spend on something more fun. There's always more to do with life than... I mean, if you really hate ads and you love console casting, I guess. Like, if you really love me as a caster, but that's a bit of a... I mean, I guess free will more than me recommending, but... Yeah, spend it on yourself. Have some more fun with your life. Shit. Get a drink. One drink and a tip nowadays. Prices aren't exactly cheap. It is a little odd though, seeing a lot of the players in the actual game watching more accurately. I mean, go ahead. It's a long delay. It's not like you're really going to see anything that isn't happened already, but it's interesting to at least think about the prospect of. If you wish to watch, go ahead. Zodish does at least open up the wall, getting himself just in there, and Waff also making his impact, getting rid of Salcerino is a good start. Also, excuse me, I forgot Jeff is Zizzer. Or Jeffrey's pencil. I don't keep track of the name changes, my boy. You couldn't have just kept it the same. We will see, though, and I think it's at least been much closer than anyone expected, which is worth a lot. Beautiful shot there. Oh my god. Some nutty shit going on. You can't do much better than that to be entirely fair in a shot. Everything you could have asked for in a clip, in anything is perfection there. Now all you gotta do is at least try. Don't lose to the thermite here, and with a warden in the corner, it might be a little bit more sneaky than they think, because flashes and smokes won't really do much here. An aggressive swing out, you're at least gonna find one. You're gonna swing for the second. Taken up by Matsumitsu as the supernova is already broken. Can't do much more than that. Now Jeff, Zizzer, whatever you want to call him, left in 1v3, but his options are limited. His time is even more. He's at least going to find the down. But with a minute left, everything he has to do has to be kind of perfection here. The amount of room he has for error is bar none. If anyone gets up, if the plant goes down, it feels like it could be over from that second, but a back off of nade. Was that a rebounded nade? Bitch just hit a backboard. That's the equivalent of hitting it. That's the equivalent of throwing it at a backboard and hitting a dude in the skull. I mean, I guess execution is a little confusing, but you know, you could have just thrown it in the first place. Whatever works, I guess. Yeah, nah, like, I'll stand by that. If you want a sub and you really like it, go ahead. But like, let's try to incentivize something. Just like, spend on yourself, man. Enjoy your life. We have a very tiny life. No, that's in perspective. Shit. Depending on where you live, go smoke that back. I don't care. Have fun with that life. If it's obviously legally allowed in your state and not breaking any laws. There was a new one that added it. It was the Canadian knockoff. Minnesota. They added it. That was the new one that added that stuff. You can smoke it. California's like the place that always has had it, and like, who else has it? I didn't know who else. I'm pretty sure it's like just them. I don't know. I don't think of that many. I just try to stay up to date with the news, but like, man, there's too much going on nowadays. I don't got that kind of time in me.
5 seconds remaining.
What do we see though from Glybo, my mans? I'm at least interested. All right, let's see what I can do. You know what? Screw it. You know what we're doing? We're doing Hot in Here by Nelly. This is your new recommendation of a song. If you've listened to it. If you're above the age of like 14, you probably heard it. Because you know what? Enjoy your life, man. Have some fun in it. That means watching some, you know, if it means going to a concert, listen to some weird ass music, go ahead. Shit. Hey, I will admit though, this is the most wild shit and it's working consistently. This Matsumitsu shotgun is actually the rage bait of the century. Unironically. And now Glybo and Matsumitsu are gonna 1v1 for who has the weirder gun. Not because that thing is literally just impossible to stop. That is an actual sniper. Unironically, that thing is effective from like 15 meters away. It's a little absurd. Matsumitsu doesn't have a shotgun. Like, don't think of him as having a shotgun. Think of him as just having a mini sniper. It's more accurate, honestly. The thing's essentially an elephant gun, if anything. Like, the range on that is absurd. C4. Too late? I can't tell. He's like baiting it almost. But like, from us. Come on, man. Throw that C4. Be a good little boy. Throw that C4, I say. Ah, whatever. Time to use this shotgun sniper. Unironically, it'll probably work too. Hey, wall goes off. And Ghost is playing the weirdest strategy you've ever seen. I kind of like it, though. You gotta have some serious nuts to be willing to literally just hide in the corner. Problem is now they know you're there, and it's a 3v4. As long as you don't throw your pick, it should be a winnable situation. Jugo brings it right back to a 3v3 with a beautiful shot, and Matsumitsu with another shotgun sniper. This thing always feels absurd to look at. Who decided this was fair? And then it ends as Ghost and Zizzer provide their value. They get their picks, and I'm not gonna say it's over. No man to say anything is over quite yet, but let's be honest now. It is. Zizzer, though. Hell of a start from him. Take off all your clothes. What else can I listen to? This is your obligatory put in something. Zodish, I know you're here. Rami, or Ramus, I know you're here. Like, come on. I know you're here to put in your recommendation for my music. I need something to vibe to. Somehow Thundercat, which is honestly kind of a W pick. They got some weird shit, but they're awesome. They just have like a weird soundscape. Thundercat themselves is kind of weird. They just got like a weird sound. Their sound is weird. Hey, but they dropped. So like, can I complain? No, I cannot. Actually, have they really dropped anything bad? Apocalypse is good. Drunk was good. It Is What It Is was like awesome. They have not dropped a bad album, honestly. If only My Glorious King friggin' Tory Lanez dropped. It's actually awesome. What should I listen to instead? Suddenly, A$AP Rocky? That could honestly be it. But hear me out. This is my hear me out of the day. There's no more, no less. I'll have another hear me out. They did it first instrumental. That shit is peak. I don't know who produced that beat to just give it to Ice Spice. That feels like the biggest waste on the planet. Like, unironically, the beat was goated. I don't care what you say about the song. The song was kind of buns. But the actual beat... Really? It's... Really? You know, whatever. Question the siege things. Come out the jar. America. I don't know, I've heard did it for so damn much at one point. From back when Panda Buy era. I'm not promoting that because that was pretty damn illegal, so don't do that ever. But like, that music choice is fire. Ice Spice is one of the weirdest, like, how did she even get big? Because like, this was last year. In July, she was like fucking running shit. That was the weirdest time. Ooh, you're running the fancy skin. Are you running the fancy gun? You're not running the gun, are you? I don't even think this person's running the... There's no way. This dude is having literally the rarest, not the rarest, most expensive skin in the game, and you're not even running the gun skin with it? That's like buying like a designer jumpsuit just to wear the sweatpants. Like, really? I mean, whatever, I guess. Zodish is at least going to find 2 picks. Apparently, the fact that he's now in the stream means he's an omniscient god, and this is now how he plays. So, good to know. He doesn't even need the... He just sees past the delay. Has the full spectator view now. Or what Staydown said is apparently I hit the servers, even though I can barely run streaming and Siege on the same PC, but you know, I definitely do hit the servers, guys. Definitely not a joke. Hey, Zodish finds himself 3 now. I don't know what this man has been on today, but he's been a pretty damn good player, and I don't see what else is going to stop him, but maybe if we do see a lonesome C4 have some issues, could maybe bring it back, but Grandpa's gonna be found eventually after 4 different people shoot at it. Eventually, Matsumitsu finds the last. And eventually. Cracks are starting to show, maybe. I say that, but it's a 5-4 game, so like, you know, you're really looking at this like, really? This kid's saying cracks, and we haven't even seen a 2-round difference yet? Shh. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. Also, low-key, the gifting subs thing, I had to have my friend. He got doxxed. I remember when that was. It was a while ago. That was a while ago. Yeah, I gotta keep up with my boy. Any y'all need someone else like me who's just better in everything and still a solo caster? Sino, when he casts, that boy is... He doesn't cast that much anymore. Like double shot does. Well, neither of them do. In terms of pure quality, or not quality, quantity, I'm like probably one of the biggest casters. I'm the only caster that has this much quality, or quantity. I'm casting like every night. I'm grinding every night. Quality of casts, that can range wildly, let's be honest. Casting for 4.5 hours straight does tend to ruin your voice, so take it with a grain of salt, but, you know, suddenly you throw a little bit of money at me and then I turn into an actually great caster that was worthy of being in, not T2, but like worthy of being a top T3 guy. I'm just saying. Suddenly a little money started, I mean, you never know. You know, something changes. You buy sections. You buy watching collections. Chains and whips, my glorious king clips, but instead it's gonna be The Weeknd. Beauty Behind the Madness. Goated album. If you are either a freaky ass dude, very gay dude, or
10 seconds left before insertion.
just like
5 seconds to insertion.
I don't know, maybe you just like really have a locked in playlist for doing it. You have the special playlist for doing it. In which case, game, because I have it too. You know, you gotta lock in. The music choices peak. Like, shit, I like all 3 of those things. Now, can someone find me? Where in the world is this Brava? Where is it? Like, seriously? Seriously? Finally, Jesus. We're not even playing the game, we're just playing Tower Defense Simulator over in the corner of the map. Jesus. You can make your own moves, so I'm not no man to hate, but I'm pretty sure he's playing Drone Simulator more than he's actually touching the ground of the game, so maybe a bit of a unique take for the Brava, but you know, you guys are up around, so I guess I'm not one to be hating.
Bomb located by attackers. Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Shots being fired over with Glybo, trying to maybe get rid of the RAM with Grandpa TTV, but I think he's going to find that his options are not so much limited as much as they're just really hard to find. It's not like you can't get these options. It's not like you can't find these picks, but good luck getting them.
Also, Matsumitsu's trying to make his move into sight with minimal successes. He does have the diffuser, but you really do got to question how this plant's going to go down, if at all. I'm all for a fun plant, but I do question it to some degree with Zanish at least finding one more, Jugo getting something. All these picks here should make it a little easier if you get rid of Zizzer, the current server MVP, by a relatively large margin as well. Maybe not the man you thought of, but Grandpa's going to find some value. Maybe the match point is right ahead of us. Left down to just Ghost and Prequel. Prequel, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. Jugo finds one more on the round. A double for him won't matter. It's going to have to be so much more for the man. But he still finds another, but traded out. Jugo eventually finds 3 on the round and gives themselves a match point. Pretty damn well played, and maybe this is where you sign the alarm bells. If you lose here, though, I think Glybo's team is not so much... They don't like it. Glybo going 4-8 is not the greatest. But Zizzer stepped up. Ghost stepped up. All of these players did their best, and that is a strong sign. Also, statistically, I'm just saying this, Glybo is better when he streams. Unironically, when the dude turns on the camera, he's just a better player. So, you know what? I'm gonna actually add Glybo with that fact. This is an important thing. I probably can't spell either.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Play better? Holy crap. I have the worst spelling on the planet. Oh my god. We never talk about the spelling in here. For good reason. Don't... No. Okay. You know, if I was one to worry about viewers, I would not be... I shouldn't even be on the game, honestly, if I was doing that. If I worried about views, I would not be casting. This show pulls in 2 views and a butt knuckle. For God's sakes, Matsumitsu's genuinely not even... Well, he's, I don't know if I'd call it stealing, but like... Why is he so aggressive? Yikes. Oh well. Is what I shall say. Hey, Matsumitsu's been good early as shit. I don't want my boys on the thermite. Like, respectfully, he's doing fine. Just give him the Ash. Unironically, I think it'd be better than giving it to... No, Jugo's been good. I don't know. Put him into like a flex roll. Give the man the M4. I think that'd be more valuable than giving him the thermite. Like, I'm not even hating to the man. I'm just like, can we just give him the thermite? He's not even that bad on entry. I will say the best person by a hilariously large margin is Zizzer. I never thought I'd say those words in best entry in a map with Glybo in it, but you know what? You're doing damn good. 4-1 is insane entry numbers for what is kind of a very weird map. So good for you. You have my respect, and also a little bit of confusion, but my respect as well. That's worth something, I suppose. Jugo, Waff, all finding themselves a couple more picks, and should give them a sizable little dent here into the offense. Or I suppose a sizable little dent into the defense. Give it just that little bit push that you probably will need to get through this. Let's be honest, this is one is, if you're winning it, it's going to be a little bit closer, I think. Even if you have the advantage in picks now, these shotguns can be so powerful. Salsino at least finds one. Who's Twiz? Is that Salsino? I'm assuming he's angry about something, but I don't know what. Apparently I pissed him off. I don't know. I pissed off half the casters. The Matsumitsu finds a pick, gives himself 8-5, and now you have yourself a match point with 1 man left. Salsino, the same man that shit on me, now you need to shit on these kids at just the same level. That's 1 at least, but now you're going to need to see 2 more. The level of play you're going to have is probably going to be a little absurd, and Grimbies aren't going to help the situation, but maybe you can pull something together. Maybe you can finally figure it out. go for the swing, but the aggressive swing still happens with a deagle in hand. He almost gets away, but Grandpa finds it last second. You have yourselves, eventually, a win for the underdogs get themselves map 1. Respect to them, as it was actually a pretty damn good game overall. I don't know if I consider it the normal expectations, but you got it nonetheless, and I think it was a pretty damn good one. 13-8, not the baddest numbers, not the baddest stats at all, actually. It was a pretty valuable and fun fight. Much as I'll shit on any team, that was pretty damn good. Can't complain about a game that was that close. Why are we leaving? Why the fuck are we kicking people? Wait, who is host leader? Oh, now I gotta check, because if it's one of these kids... Oh, now we gotta know. Who is the host here? Oh, so Twiz is pissed, but like... Was he the leader of this match? Because if so, then I got kicked for that. If not, then I don't know. So... Ah, apparently I pissed him off. Oh. Oh. It's Twiz. I'm assuming it's something... I guess I'm off. I don't care. Fine by me, because I